This is the CHGO Bears Postgame Show, and wow, what a day. I am trying to figure out right now, alongside Herb Howard and Greg Braggs Jr., with Nicholas Moreano in Buffalo, 33-6, Bears over the Bills. Bears postgame being brought to you by Ray Chevrolet. Shop the Freedom to Save sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Ray Scarpelli's going crazy. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. I think we should be – who wants to drive to New Orleans right now?
Let's do it.
I mean, let's
go.
I mean –
Bears are better than the Bills. Bears are going to the Super Bowl. Bears undefeated. Shout out to Gary Ross in the chat. Undefeated. Let's go.
2-0 in the preseason. I mean, there's 17 games to go in the regular season, and then you got to win some playoff games. But I don't
Caleb Williams has never lost a game in his life.
Caleb Williams,
nor will he ever.
No, that was, as we are partly tongue in cheek here, but but not really. That was about as good of a preseason football game as you could possibly have, starting with the quarterback who did everything that he does well, and we saw it. He was patient. He was on the move. We saw the freaking arm talent left and right. We saw him taking chances. We saw him bounce back from the only bad play that he had. We saw him put the ball all over the place. It was a beautiful day for 18 in his first ever NFL game as, playing, granted, in the preseason.
No way you could have asked for more from Caleb Williams in his NFL debut, albeit a preseason. But everything that you've heard about, the things that he can do, you saw him do. The patience in the pocket. 3rd and 13, pocket collapsing around him. He doesn't panic, keeps his head down the field, fires an absolute rifle into DJ Moore for the first down. We've been talking all summer about his ability to get out in the pocket, throw on the run. We saw him do that, get outside the pocket, throw an absolute seed down the sideline on the run. You saw him even use his athleticism, which he doesn't prefer to do, doesn't use often, but if he needs to, he can. Get out of the pocket, 3rd and 9, makes the first down with his legs, puts on a good move, slides, gets down, protects himself. Everything you want to see you saw it from him today. It was a phenomenal debut.
Gregory, how you doing over there, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously every Bears fan, I think, is living on cloud 9. I mean, we are known for always getting ahead of ourselves in the preseason, but it's hard not to on a day like today for all the reasons you guys pointed out. Poise in the pocket, creativity on the shovel to DeAndre Swift, the confidence, even the cockiness on the throw to Cole Kmet on the move. The next play mentality. He almost threw a pick, but there's an illegal contact. He continues to go on to the next play. The arm strength, the mobility when he gets out of the pocket and makes that little shake. We're not seeing too much of that at camp because he wants to keep his eyes downfield. When he's scrambling, he's looking to throw first, but when he ran, because I've always compared him to a Mahomes-like type runner.
He's more athletic than that.
He had that juke he put on. That's not Mahomes-like. That's more athletic, to your point. Yeah. Inspiring his teammates. He throws a little rollout into the flat to DJ Moore, and the dude is trying to run through 3 guys on the play in the preseason. I mean, learning from your mistakes. Maybe my favorite part of it was his first throw on the second play of his whole preseason career. Mm-hmm. He rolls out of the pocket too early. Darnell Wright gets a hold. On the last snap, he has the option to either roll out or stay in the pocket. He fights to stay in the pocket, stays with his blockers, tries to find Rome Odunze in the back of the end zone. It's overthrown, yes, but it's where only either the receiver's going to get it or no one's going to get it.
Great play.
Like, that's maturity there. There's so much that you guys, and I'm so happy for Bears fans today because we have been seeing a lot of this at camp, and you got to see all the little things on full display. 3rd and 13, the Mahomes-like flip, the jump man strike on the move. There's just so much to like from what you saw from Caleb Williams today, and there's so much more to come. Yes, there will be mistakes. Yes, there will be a learning curve. But at the end of the day, today was just an amazing step in the right direction for years to come with this quarterback with the Bears.
So let's just go through the first series because I think it's just worth just reliving because I want to relive it actually right now. First play of the game, DeAndre Swift gets the ball, goes over the right guard, picks up 3. Next play at 2nd and 7. Caleb's in the gun, if I'm remembering it right. He takes way too long, ends up throwing an incomplete pass. They call a penalty on Darnell Wright for holding, and he got hit at the very end of it, and I was like, oh, this is what we've been seeing all of training camp, and so that I was worried at that point. Then they hand it off to Khalil on 2nd and 17. He picks up 5. It's 3rd and 12. 3rd and 12. We're all Bears fans. We've seen this a million times. You think that they're going 3 and out off the field. He lasers it to DJ Moore.
Yeah, no handoff, no screen pass. They drop him back, and he goes through like 3 reads, 3 different progressions until he gets to DJ
pocket
on the
collapsing
curl
in
route.
on him. Like pocket collapsing in on him from all sides, doesn't panic, eyes downfield.
Right. And so at that moment, I'm like, I think it literally flipped for me at that moment. I'm like, oh my God, we can be in 3rd and long, and there is a legit hope that this dude is going to hang in there and pick it up for you.
So I don't want to go through that too fast because there's a lot of components to that taking place, right? It's 3rd and 13. Pocket is collapsing. Not only do you not panic, you keep your eyes down the field, right? Comfortable in the pocket, but then it takes an absolute rocket of a throw to make that in there, right? It's a small window. That DB is all on DJ's back. Like that ball doesn't come in with the exact velo that it came in with. Like, shout out to Steve, he was talking about that the whole time of the game. But like, if it doesn't come in with that kind of velocity, it doesn't get in. It gets knocked down. He did everything right to complete that on 3rd and 13. It was very, very nice to see.
And it's the same thing that, by the way, we've been saying all preseason long too. When it looks good, it looks really freaking good. And that's the difference with this guy. Yeah. And Braggs, you jumped over it a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, maybe a week ago. I don't know. Whatever. You made the point about him maneuvering in the pocket. And at that point, he hung in the pocket. There was pressure around him. Yeah. And also, granted, preseason game, but the Buffalo crowd, they all came ready. It was noisy in there early in the game, which I thought was sweet for him. That was an awesome opportunity to play a preseason game where there's nothing going on in that sad-ass city other than the Wings, and they're fired up for that game like it's actually real, so it was good for them.
And they firing off like train horns in between snaps. I didn't know they could do that. While they're in the huddle, he's like constantly trying to cover his ears because he can't hear.
They don't
hear,
get the
like,
bear raid siren.
That's.
And to your point about how Caleb fights to stay in the pocket, the way he climbs in the pocket, just has very good poise. As Jeff Joniak said, spatial awareness. Like that, those are words you never heard with a Bears quarterback. And if you watched Caleb Williams in college, these are many of the things you saw today that he did in college. Mm-hmm. But to go to camp and see it in a Bears uniform, to watch it on TV today in a Bears uniform, there's something different about that. Understanding that he can do this at the NFL level. There's still a long ways to go, but what you're seeing, what made him special in college is starting to translate into things we're seeing at the NFL level. And for me, that excites me for the future.
So let's keep going through the drive because the next play might have been his best play. They're at the 40, 1st and 10. Credit to you, Matt Eberflus, Shane Waldron. Put him back there, let him throw it again. Under pressure, waits to the very last second, and then flips it off to DeAndre Swift, who ends up picking up 42 yards to take it down to the Buffalo 18. This is what we've seen also, where he hangs in there, and the backs have gotten the ball a ton, and the backs are shifty enough, and there's a lot of space right there, but all of a sudden, it's like he could have almost scored on that play, and that was a great job going through his progressions. Okay, got to get rid of it last second, boom.
He had the exact same play to Travis Homer just the other day at practice to where he underhanded it through the defensive line, and then Travis Homer was wide open to run to the end zone. Guy met him about the goal line. How many times have we seen a slip screen where a different arm angle by Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift is pulling it in like Spider-Man? I know Kyler Gordon's our Spider-Man
here.
That
one-hand joint.
He's done it multiple times. So they're starting to have that chemistry, and Caleb's starting to show that artistry, dare I say, Mahomes-esque. And that's why, Ryan Poles said it. There are similarities. Doesn't mean he is Patrick Mahomes. But in that moment, was one Bears fan watching this game going, we all thought it. I'm not afraid to say it. Somebody else might be. I'm not afraid to say it.
I'll take 73% of Patrick Mahomes all day long. I'll take 82. I don't wherever he can get this close. That'd be quite fine.
100%. But poise is the word that came to mind to me watching him play today. That was the most impressive thing. Anytime it got like messy around him, around his feet, around his arm, he just stayed poised, and that's how he was able to hit that. Now, obviously, the play was designed to go to DeAndre Swift. It was a screen. The lineman got out there in front. But that pocket collapsed so fast, it would have been very easy for a different quarterback to pull the ball down, get out of there, go to something else, do whatever. He just waited, and then trusting in his ability to find a way to just flip it over there. He just flipped it over there to him. And I think that poise allows for, some of those unique traits that he has to come through.
So I got to own that one. I thought he was looking down the field. I didn't realize it was set up for a screen. But regardless,
you want to look down the field on the screen. You want to look down the field. You want to get the safeties to back out, and then you want to get the lineman to come up, and then you dump it over there. But it collapsed on him so quickly that the poise was evident and necessary.
And how many games has he played?
That was the number one.
Yeah, so imagine what that's going to look like as he gets more and more comfortable.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. Yeah. And the talent's not going anywhere. So now it's 1st and 10 at the 18. They hand it off to Khalil. He picks up 7. 2nd and 3 at the 11. They go back to him for 2 yards. So it's 3rd and 1. And this is where, the quibbling with Flus and I guess Waldron. They went back-to-back Herbert. He loses 3 on the next one. They end up kicking a field goal. Yeah. Didn't give him a chance to throw it in the red zone, which is maybe the only disappointment of the day, really.
But they came back out for a second drive.
Yeah.
So I think, while we finish this segment here, we should go through that second drive, because I do have some thoughts about once they got in the red zone on the first drive, but I want to save it for when we get to that here on Best and Worst. But just getting into the second drive, because when we talk about that scramble, and I know we're going to get there on that little juke move, I think the best part about the juke move was how he slid at the end. And, the slip and slide technique seems to be in play there, because it was on full display.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you are new and you are fired up about the Bears, we are here for pregame. We are here for postgame. We are here Monday through Friday at noon.
2,200 watching. Yeah. 2,200 plus watching right now.
What's good?
If you're new to the program, we're here every single day, 5 days a week, pre and post, every single game.
After every training camp practice. During the season, we're Monday through Friday at noon. So appreciate you all, Bears fans. I know that
after Hard Knocks every Tuesday night.
Yes, and we'll be in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. All right. Shout out to our friends at ComEd. It's getting easier for business to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being for all of us who share it.
That's right, Mr. Marcus. Jumping the gun on me. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do, Gregory?
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
Yes, I did. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
And
Caleb Williams generation.
That's right. Let's hook you all up with a great cell phone deal with our friends with Mint Mobile. I'm loving the great deal, but I don't want to be going through every single hoop to get there. They don't make you do that at Mint Mobile. It's easy. $15 a month. $15 a month. Did you hear that? $15 a month. It's a 3-month plan. You put $45 down and you get it. To get started, go to mintmobile.com/CHGO. Mintmobile.com/CHGO. There you can find that 3-month plan, $15 a month, including the unlimited plan, high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, all the good things on the nation's largest 5G network. Find out, indeed, how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile and get that 3 months of premium wireless service. $15 a month. MintMobile.com/CHGO. Did I say that? I'm going to say it again. MintMobile.com/CHGO. It is $45 upfront payment is required. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower, above 40 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right. Are we moving to best and worst? That's what you want to do? Or are we talking second drive? I'm confused.
We can do the second drive and then get to best and worst.
Great.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off your
No,
spot.
you
know how I am. I get excited. Especially on a game like this.
Man.
I am fired up.
So the Bears defense forces a 3-and-out, which was great to see.
Let's not go past that.
Let's not go past that. Let's go. What did you like about it, Herb?
Dominique Robinson.
Yes.
Who, I'll just speak for me. It seems like that Dominique Robinson experiment is coming to an end. That's what I've been saying all spring and summer.
Ditto.
But comes up, 3rd and 1. Bears just scored, trying to get the ball back, force a 3-and-out. He jumps inside the offensive tackle, crashes down, stuffs the running back right at the line of scrimmage, or maybe for a short loss. They got to punt the ball. Great play by Dominique Robinson. No Montez Sweat, so nobody's getting double team on the other side. None of that's going on. They're still trying to find out what that rotation is going to be like on the end opposite Montez. DeMarcus is going to be there, but you got Booker, you got Dom Robb. You're trying to figure that thing out. Great play by him to start the game.
So I literally haven't seen Dom Robb do that play since like his first play ever in his first game when he took the one hand and just snatched down. I forget the quarterback was, but it was a sweet play, and you were like, oh my God.
Who is this dude?
Who is this dude?
This dude that was playing receiver 2 weeks ago and quarterback 4 weeks ago.
Right, and he's a physical freak. Dom Robb is a big time athlete, but
he is.
But it is very hard to get to the quarterback in the NFL, especially from a guy who's played all over the field, hasn't played there enough, now getting thrown in. Go do this. By the way, go do it on a D-line that is historically, last couple of years, until Montez Sweat showed up here,
not been getting there.
Yeah, lack of talent around him, making it's hard for him. They're actually able to key on Dominique, which is not, to somebody at his level, that's you're asking an awful lot. But to see him do it today, no Sweat out there, and he's been eating that humble pie for a while. You can't help but hope that this is a breakthrough for him.
Yeah, that was a huge play.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to Caleb. Is that?
Yeah.
I just want to give him his due. He deserves some props.
I want to talk about Caleb Williams for the next 2.5 hours.
No,
let's do it.
It's fine. But so they punt it. The Bears get the ball on their own 3-yard line. Okay. It's we're back and nowhere. Khalil picks up 2. They go back to him for another 2. It's 3rd and 6 at the 7.
Just like on the 3rd and 13. This is typical Bears situation where they hand it off or throw a screen and 3-and-out, walk off the field.
Well, here's where they got a benefit because they threw it to Rome, and I thought that Rome, it looked like it was going to be a pick, and Rome stepped in there. Yeah. But the Bears end up getting a penalty. I think the referees wanted to see more Caleb.
I was going to say that was the shining spot. That we're already getting superstar calls with our quarterback. We're getting quarterback superstar calls. And come on, baby.
And so that's fine. I don't even care if they went 3-and-out. They went 3-and-out. But it did happen on the same possession. Now they're at their own 12. They still got a long, long way to go. He hits DJ Moore for 15.
Yep.
Which was sweet.
Listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did they not just give DJ Moore a $110 million contract?
Right, because this is on the rollout to the flat where he runs through 3 guys.
Is he still catching the ball and running through 3 guys in the first preseason game?
Like a maniac.
He secured the catch, secured the first down. He could have stepped out of bounds, but in DJ Moore fashion, he's like, I'll run through all 3.
And we're sitting there like, dude, go down. It's okay. We don't need you to do this. But and we'll underline it a little bit later too. But that's something you want your best players to be your hardest workers, the dudes that get paid, and there it was.
Right after he get paid, he's still on this.
Yeah.
And he's always built like this, but it also speaks to how excited these guys are, right?
Yeah.
Caleb starts making some throws.
Let's go.
And now all of a sudden everybody's kind of
it's contagious. It's infectious.
Their antennas are up and it's game on now.
Yeah. Next play, Khalil Herbert gets loose with first time running left. He picks up 14. Next play, another one of the best plays. First and 10 to the 41, 26 yards to Cole Kmet. That freaking laser.
That's the jump man. The Jumpman logo throw that he's doing
he's
now.
In the air, his arm is up, his legs are spread. That is becoming his signature thing. We've seen that all camp long. The first time you see it, it's like, yo, did he just do that? And then he does it again. He's like, oh, that's just what he does. There's nothing fluky about that because that's a low percentage throw, even when you're going to your right. But he also does it going to his left. Y'all, if y'all haven't seen him do that yet, y'all will also see him do that going to his left, throwing back across his body. He can do the same thing and put the ball on a laser 25 yards down the field this far from the sideline. The kid has that. That is extremely rare.
It's like that throwing motion gives him a little extra gas.
Yeah,
you
man.
know? And when he threw it to Kmet to the sideline, you could make the argument it's a little behind because the defender's coming,
Sure.
but at the same time, it gave Kmet the opportunity to A, make the catch, and B, get his feet down.
Yep.
You know, so like the ball placement, you could argue was perfect in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't, it was good enough. And it was, and
Right.
again,
It's insane.
And he's gonna probably have throws where he tries that and makes a mistake.
Oh, it's gonna
but
cost
you're
him
gonna
sometimes.
take those, you know, with the good, with the bad, when he's making plays like he is, right, like he did there.
It cost him, what was that, Thursday in practice? He tried to do it towards the end, and Kevin Byard picked him off.
Right.
I mean, he's going to try. Sometimes it's not going to work, but just the fact that you can do that, like very few people have that in their bag. He's got it there for sure.
Well, shout out the Bears defense to making it tough for him on him all training
Yeah.
camp. The Bills did not make it as tough as the Bears defense has been doing.
Didn't
in
look
training
like
camp.
it was 266 days since the last time he threw a football in a live game.
No.
It did not. And so the next play, 1st and 10, the Buffalo 33, he hits Kmet again. Cole drops it, which is a very rare thing for Cole.
Very
but
rare.
But it was another perfect throw. Cole's
we
kick.
can clip this for the upcoming Cole Kmet.
The 85,
the
baby.
85 coming out with
Spell it out.
Cole Kmet and Adam Hogue. And Cole, I want you to apologize for dropping that pass. That's a loaf. You are forgiven only because it's preseason. But I swear to God, Cole, you ever do that again.
Well,
Listen,
in
Caleb
Cole's
was-
career, he's only had one
He's
drop.
only had one drop, and that's one too many, Steven.
Yeah, well,
He had 0 drops last year, and I expect Cole to continue to do that this year.
Well, that's why it was so it's just shocking because he just doesn't drop the football.
Caleb was 4 for 7.
Yep.
You get a drop from Cole, who's only dropped one pass in his NFL career. You get another drop from DJ on another nice play.
Great throw.
From Caleb with a good throw on target.
Yep.
DJ drops it. DJ not dropping too many of those,
Nope.
right? So you really already looking at 6 and 7, and the only other ball was the one that went just outside the end zone in the back right corner to Rome.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not like he was inaccurate on any throw.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or had any real
Well,
incompletion.
and Orange Cassidy here in the chat says, let's not forget Caleb checked his protection and picked up the blitz. And that's why I'm excited. I watched
on.
last week's game 1 time over. I'm probably going to watch this week's game 10 times over. And for little nuances like Orange Cassidy's pointing out there, you know, picked up the blitz. On the drop that Cole Kmet had, the way he got it out quick, he identified right away. That's where it needs to go. Yeah, it's a drop, but you see the operation is correct.
Yep. It's that poise again, and just being able to understand that pressure's coming, right? They played the clip of him in the press conference saying, listen, I need to get better at recognizing the blitz, know how to check out of it, know how to change the protections, know how to find the hot reads, whatever it is. They played that in the middle of the game. He said that's the thing he needs to improve most. You saw that out there from him today.
Yeah. So, and I think part of the reason why Cole dropped is the other play, 26-yard. It's preseason. It's hot out there. I think he maybe wasn't expecting the football. Might have been a drop tired. I'm not sure. Whatever. I'm not worried about Cole Kmet ever. So 2nd and 10, they run it to Khalil up the middle, nowhere to go, picks up 1. It's 3rd and 9 at the Buffalo 32, and this is where we get the scramble play where he takes his time, steps up, all the daylight in the world, and picks up the first down, wisely slides, going to his left.
The slip and slide.
So we saw the mobility right there. The dude can move. This is it's obviously going to be a weapon that he doesn't want to use a ton, but when he's got to use it, it's there.
Yeah.
Well, and to me, the other thing that I've tried to point out, no, he's not going to be as athletic or as tough a runner as Justin Fields was. But when you are a threat to pass and you just made that play on 3rd and 13 on the drive before, now it's 3rd and 9, and the floodgates, the floodgates are wide open in the middle because they're worried about Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Swift going out in motion. That's what's going to make Caleb Williams just as an effective runner. Maybe not as dominant. He's not going to have, break the all-time single season record in rushing, but he can be just as effective. And you see that with a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who in the playoffs against the Titans had the most insane 40-yard run the guy prances around, slides through guys, but because they're so worried about what he's going to do with his arm that he gets a little more yards with his legs because of it. And I think that's going to apply with Caleb Williams a lot of times, and he's got more athleticism, like we talked about.
Those are those back-breaking runs, right? Like it's one thing to just be able to do that, whenever you want, or the team.
You're not spying Caleb Williams.
No, the team relies on you to do that. That's one thing. But those back-breaking runs when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and they're trying their best to cover Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Roma Dunze, and then it's like, oh, this dude can take off and run for it too. That's back-breaking, especially you talk about late-game situations. That's 100%. Going to be a weapon for him.
So he picks up the scramble, 13 yards. They're down to the 19. They run it to Herbert. He picks up a yard. This is the throw to DJ that should have been a first down. Real tight window. I don't know, a foot off the ground, a foot and a half off the ground.
Yeah.
DJ makes that throw. That is boom in there.
But the thing about it, rolling
to his right again.
It's a 3-level read.
He's got Everett first.
Right.
Everett's on the first level right there. He probably could have hit him early as soon as he came out of it. He chose not to, held on to a little longer. He sees DJ coming, waits a little bit, fires a seed in there.
Yep.
Accurate enough. DJ's going to catch that 9.5 out of 10.
DJ will be the first guy to say he should have made that catch. Yeah. And he fires it in there. He like you said, there's about 3 defenders there. He waits for the window to open up. Again, and this is the other thing when you talk about what we've been seeing at camp. It's not just east and west. You're seeing north, south. You're seeing the offense, Caleb Williams, Shane Waldron attacking 3 levels of the field.
So now after the drop, it's 3rd and 9, and here's the play to Rome in the corner of the end zone, scrambling to his right, surveying, looking for various options, I'll say, and then he puts it into the corner to Rome, a little too tall, pretty good throw, and I don't know if Rome could have adjusted a little bit better there, but
that's one of those my guy or nobody.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you
got the 3 points in your pocket.
Right.
You throw it back corner. It's my guy or it's nobody.
Right. Yep. I'm not going to get picked off here. We're going to put points on the board. It's early in the game.
And as I mentioned, and I'd love to be able to ask Caleb this because to me, on the second play of the game where Darnell Wright gets the hold, he bailed out of the pocket too quickly. Like fans on its surface would think, oh, that's a bad hold on Darnell. No. Because Caleb got out of the pocket, it caused Darnell to hold. You have to stay in the pocket. That's why it is so imperative for quarterbacks to fight to stay in the pocket. So then you saw on that final snap where he does that. He keeps his blockers to their advantage, and he doesn't bail out too early. And then he waits till the final second, kind of drift right and try to make a touch throw over the top to Rome. So I thought there was a learning curve from his first throw to his final throw at the end. It's just really impressive stuff. And let me just say this real quickly before we take another break, but I see a guy here in the chat, Real Lab 17, saying he was impressive, calm, and looked the real deal. But, man, we crown players so quickly. Let the kid settle in. And I get it. This is a 30-minute love fest of Caleb Williams to start this show.
We're going with love fest now?
We're going to go with love fest as opposed to what I was saying, what we'd call the first 2 segments before we got on the show. But I get it. And I understand fans' hesitation to go all in on the hype. You don't have to. We are excited for what we saw today. We're encouraged by what we see at camp, but it also don't take it as an overstatement. They still have a long ways to go. He's still going to have a learning curve. You're going to make mistakes. We all understand that the offensive line still has work to do. I mean, hell, they're down to their 3rd string right guard right now. Pryor was in there playing right guard. So to me, you go to work on Monday and talk shit. Be excited about what you saw today. But we all understand the road that's ahead.
Sure.
But it's okay to be excited, Bears fans. It's okay. You don't have to be scared. Caleb Williams can play football, and that's an exciting thing. And it's going to be an exciting year and an exciting 5 years here with Caleb Williams, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, and just to be clear on what I've been saying now for basically training camp, I think there's going to be a ton of really sweet highs this year. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be some pretty, rough days where he throws a bunch of picks because he's going to trust his talent and he's going to be in the learning curve, and then bad things are going to happen. So, but the thing that you got to love is that the talent is there. There is talent around him. Yes. I'm concerned borderline significantly as to how this whole offensive line is going to shake out. And Ryan Bates wasn't there today even to play guard, so we're down to our 3rd string guard. Greg Pryor's getting the start in there. That's not exactly where you want to be, but it is. What is it? August the 10th. So they do have some time to get healthy here. But look, he is doing things that other quarterbacks can't do. Facts. So it's like, and it's a fact. So I mean, come on, there's a reason why he was not that he was the 1 overall pick. He was the consensus number one.
Mm-hmm.
And not like consensus where like last year it's, Bryant Young, Stroud, blah, blah, most people would take on. This was a consensus situation. So, look, it's a different cat. And the Bears, I think, at this point, at least the way they handled this game, 20 plays in 2 drives, that's a good job, Matt Eberflus. Yep. That was a good job today.
If you want to know how excited we are, we're finally going to get to best and worst here in a second.
Yes, we'll do
which
that.
we normally start the show with.
We'll do that, when we come on back here. But first off, this is a perfect time for us to talk about our friends at Sunnyside, because you should enjoy yourself this afternoon. Your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place for all kinds of visitors. Even really excited Bears fans are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of the high-quality products. They've got everything for you to elevate your summer and your fall that is upcoming as well. Illinois' favorite dispensary all over, from Wrigleyville to River North to Champaign to South Beloit, all over the place. Sunnyside has a spot for you. By the way, let's talk about the Good News Tea Time disposable vape. It's a classic lemonade flavor, perfect for the golf course. Get your golf in before the end of the season, as Greg Braggs opens up a little flavor for himself over there. We do need a little help staying loose on the green, and yes, it's also just in time for the Bears preseason here. Free Spirit vapes and cartridges, all new from Good News. They've got the lush mango flavor, everything for you. This is what you want to do. Visit sunnyside.shop for brighter buys every day, including, listen up, 50% off your first 3 online purchases. 50% off your first 3. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions do apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 and over or Illinois card medical holders.
That's right. And for the over 2,500 viewers watching right now, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. But you can also really get in with us and become a CHGO diehard. You go to allchgo.com/diehard. You can become one. And what do you get with that? Well, you get a free shirt right out the gate. You can be rocking this sweet Air It Out shirt. Got really cool designs for all our Bears stuff, and obviously all the different sports we cover here at CHGO, from Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, everything, any sports, you name it, we got it. And you get discounts on events. We got tailgates coming up for every home game last year. There is no better tailgates than coming with us, over at the corner of Wabash and Cermak, the official CHGO tailgates presented by Miller Lite last year with our guys over at the Chicago Bears Tailgating Club. No better action than over there. You get discounts on things like that. Discounts on our events coming up, like at Cog Hill, the CHGO second annual Kickoff Classic presented by Circus Sports, Coors Light, Shady Rays, and Seltz Up. Different packages you can do. You can sign up as an individual, twosome, foursome, gifts, giveaways, the whole bit. And if you become a diehard, you get access to Adam Hogue's newsletter, Mark Carman's, amazing thoughts, Discord channel. There's so much to do. We're even going on a trip to Arizona to see the Bears take on the Cardinals. You can get a discount on that as well. So much advantage when you become a diehard with us at CHGO, and we really hope you do.
All right, let's move on to our best and worst from today's 33-6 walloping of the Buffalo Bills, 2-0 in the preseason. Herb, let's start with you, my friend. Best and worst from today. I've got your notes here, but you look like you're in deep thought. You might want to change them up.
I forgot what my best was. I can remember what my...
your best was going to be an homage to Adam Hogue.
Got it, right.
Since you're our resident Hogue today.
In honor of Adam Hogue, but also just in the reality of who Tory Taylor is, I thought he was my best today. You guys had already made your picks, and rightfully so, but I thought Tory Taylor did a phenomenal job.
Yep.
We saw Caleb be who we thought he is. Tory Taylor is also who we thought he was too, right? He came out there, couple punts. The first one, he pins it down to the 5-yard line in the corner. We've got all of our coverage team down there. Somehow they let the returner slip out of there and actually get a decent return. But that's not on Tory. There was plenty of hang time, and the placement was perfect. It was at the 5-yard line. It was on the sideline. They had him pinned. They let him out, but he did his job on that. Then he comes back on the next punt, drops it down right out of bounds at the 10-yard line. The kid is a weapon. There's no other way around it. Teams are going to have to go 90, 95 yards consistently against the Bears defense all year long, and that's got to make Flus, Coach Washington, and the rest of that defense really, really happy. Good on Tory Taylor for being exactly who we've seen him be throughout the summer.
So Tory was like, all right, fine. Y'all don't want to cover my kicks. I'll just do it myself.
No problem. Y'all gonna get down there? Cool. I'll drop it out of bounds right at the 10.
And Total Anarchy TV, I saw you earlier in the chat, and I'm seeing you again. I will, I guess, fess up here that all I said was that I wanted the Bears to draft because
the chat's coming for our heads. They're like,
that's fine.
Apologize, Carm, for your Tory take. Apologize, Herb, for your Fields love. Apologize, Greg, for overhyping Justin last preseason. Look, we're sorry, all right? We're not perfect.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not
Herb's
sorry.
not sorry.
I'm not sorry either. But I'm not saying that. I never said the dude couldn't punt the ball. I'm
not going to apologize because y'all can't comprehend nuance. So I'm not doing that.
So, but listen, hey, I will eat if you want to put it like that, Total Anarchy, that's cool. I'll eat every word as that dude punts the ball. I thought that thing landed like in the stands. Apparently it did land somewhere on the side. That was a moonshot. And Tory, by the way, I know Tory's been on the show. We love Tory.
It might have landed in the stands, but it went out of bounds at the 10. He's just that kind of good, man.
Yeah. All right. So shout out to Tory Taylor.
Yep.
Shout out to you, Adam Hogue. Who's your worst?
My worst, unfortunately, is I got to go with Javon Dexter, man. I've been watching him all summer. He is such a huge piece to what this defense and ultimately what this team wants to be. If he is a dominant difference-making 3 technique, like we said earlier, this defense could be great. Not just good, they could be great. If he's just a guy, they'll be good anyway, but if he's a dominant difference maker, they will be great. I expect to see him make some plays today, play with great pad level, play with great discipline, fire off the ball. Too often I saw him standing straight up, getting blocked one-on-one. He did make one play where he was able to hold up the guy, penetrate, and stuff the running back in the backfield. But I need to see that consistently from him. Didn't happen for him today. Not to say it's not going to happen. Not to say that I've lost any kind of hope or faith or belief in him. I think he can still be that dude. He just was not that dude today. He's got to play with better pad level. He's got to fire off the ball, and he cannot be blocked one-on-one as often as he was today.
You would know this better than me, maybe you too, Gregory, but, I mean, can you name someone, and I'm rooting for Javon Dexter Sr. huge because he's a great dude, and physically he's transformed his body. He's obviously working at it, but I saw the same stuff watching him today. Dude straight up, and just it's just not going to work. So, and he also was coming out of college as a dude coming out of Florida that did not get off the ball well, and there was all these excuses around it. But if you don't have that, to me, I've always thought, kind of hard to learn. That is an instinctual boom. So I don't know if you can name anyone where, well, he started a little bit slow, but then it clicked.
Figure it out later.
Yeah.
That's real. And I'm inclined to agree with you. Except I've seen him do it, right?
Okay.
He shows it in flashes. You see him play with great pad level. You see him get off the ball. You see him explode into the backfield. We've seen him do it at training camp. I've seen him do it a few times in the games. Last 5 weeks of the season, he comes on, gets 2.5 sacks last year. I've seen him do it. Sir, I need you to do it every time. I know it's more difficult for you because you're 6'6". I get it. I'm not saying this is an easy task. You're not Aaron Donald. You're 6'1". You're not John Randall or Warren Sapp. These are shorter guys. You are 6'6". I understand it's more difficult for you. But that's on you, bro. Nobody told you to be 6'6".
Yep.
Get your ass down here, play with good pad level, and get off the ball. He could dominate if he does.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking for a comparison, just trying to find one for you, I think the best one might be, or the closest one, not an exact comparison, but I talk to him every Tuesday, Corey Wooten. And a couple years into his career, he wasn't where he wanted to be. And pad level is always an issue for guys that are as tall as Corey and Javon. And Rod Marinelli kind of gave him a little pep talk going into one year. He's told the story many times with us on After Dark. And he eventually started to figure it out and become a really productive player in the league. Now, Javon's only in his second year, and I thought last year he made really good strides as the year went on. Yeah. So pad level is always going to be something that he has to work through. And today, obviously, is a small sample size. You give him 4 quarters. The war of attrition, maybe, having to deal with a guy as big as Javon Dexter every play is eventually going to get you. But yes, early on today, he wasn't getting it done, and we've seen a lot of it at training camp, but we didn't get a chance to see it today.
Gary's in the chat referencing DeForest Buckner, right? And that's a good comp for him because DeForest Buckner is also tall. He's also played in this defense and been very, very productive. I still got a ton of faith in Javon Dexter. I love the trace that he brings. He didn't bring it today. He's got to do better.
Keep on giving him a ton of reps in the preseason, kind of like they did with Austin Booker. Had a huge day today. We'll get to Book in a little bit, but Gregory, why don't you give us your best and worst?
Yeah, my best starts where I started on the pregame show, which when I said what was most important heading into the day, no false starts. There were so many things I could have listed on what was important. Obviously, Caleb having a great day, all these different players, but the worst thing we've seen at camp, the biggest flaw we've seen at camp is the false starts. I mean, they are every day, too early, too often. And today, no false starts from the first team. I don't even know if there was
on the pregame.
Yeah. I don't even know if there was false starts from the offense at all throughout the game. Gary's going to have to help me out with that because obviously we are doing so many different things. But the first team was clean in their operation.
There was one false start.
They had one false start.
Yeah, that was on the botched pitch to Velus Jones Jr.
Okay,
that's right.
Thank you,
That's
Steven.
right.
And so but at the end of the day, the first team was clean. They're going through some different guys, obviously playing with the third string right guard at the moment, but the rest of them have been there. So, they needed that clean operation for those 2 drives to help Caleb set himself up for success as well. So to me, that was my best, 2 games in a row now that the false starts haven't been as much of an issue as we're seeing at practice. So that's good. That's good. Learn from your mistakes at practice, execute during the games. My worst, I wanted to go to this at some point. And to me, the 2nd and 1 in the red zone, we broke down the 2 drives to start the show. And I didn't want to harp on it during the Caleb Lovefest segment. But you get into the red zone. Caleb makes an amazing, 3rd and 13, gets you down on the swift into the red zone. You have an opportunity to give him a touchdown opportunity. And when it's 2nd and 1, I don't have as much of an issue at 3rd and 1. But 2nd and 1 is one of those downs that, to me, I want to see an aggressive offense attack because you have that 3rd down in your pocket. You got to be able to trust that your quarterback isn't going to take a sack there. Give him a play action read. Give him something up the seam with the tight end. To me, if I wanted to nitpick that moment, 2nd and 1, it just felt too safe and give your quarterback an opportunity to make a play there. I get it's a long season to go, and you don't want to show your plays, although they showed 20 plays today from their first team. So, it's not like you shouldn't be afraid to make a play like, now we can't use that one in the regular season. And to me, if I had to nitpick the 2nd and 1 call, I would have had Caleb Williams throwing on the move, play action, find something, where he gets an easy throw for a touchdown.
And that's after the DeAndre Swift play, right?
Yep.
Right. I like to, go for the juggler in those situations, man. I look at those big plays like that, same way I look at it like a turnover. It's sudden change. You got the defense on their heels. Like, let's go. I would have attacked them on 1st down. I said, you was like, no, wait to 2nd down. And then they got the 8-9 yard run from Khalil. You're like, now you go play action here. They still didn't do it there, and they end up, having to settle for 3.
The whole playbook at your disposal at 2nd and 1.
No, you do, for sure.
You get that's fine.
You see, like Aaron Rodgers and all that?
Right.
Once they get you on this, it's kill time. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. I like to see more aggression. Now it's preseason. That may be the reason for it.
He made all of his throws on 3rd and long. You know what I mean? Like, give it second and 1.
That's easy work.
Give him something, let him eat. But long season to go, but I'll keep my eye on it. You chose to run there. You played it conservative for 3 straight downs once you got in the red zone. Yeah. But in the season, I want to see an aggressive mentality.
No doubt.
So, and I can jump off on my best and worst from there because, and I'll start with my worst because it wasn't necessarily, and I completely agree with you, Greg, and I would have loved to have seen him go for it there. But I'm looking at the targets today. Tyler Scott, Keenan Allen neither of them saw the football, and Rome Odunze was targeted once, didn't have a catch. So if I'm looking at my worst, just as far as spreading it around, getting guys that I'd like to see get catches, love to see the connection with Keenan start to build, obviously with the rookie Rome, and I'm looking for some growth with Tyler as well. So those 3 guys not getting the ball today.
Almost the opposite of what we've seen in camp, though. Like, Cole hasn't been seeing the ball much at camp.
It's true.
Today he does, and those other guys you're mentioning have been getting the ball a ton at camp. Today they didn't.
Absolutely. But so I was a little bummed on that. It's hard to find a worse today for the record. I mean, it's
only one football at the end of the day.
You want to keep DCs up at night all week long, like, do I double 2? Do I double 13? Do I got to worry about 15? What about 85? Like, you figure this thing out. You want to keep DCs up all week long. So,
and when they interviewed Keenan, I really enjoyed his. Like, man, I hope they can keep him for 2 or 3 years here.
Man, if this is what over the hill looks like, I can't wait to get over the hill because that dude looks young and spry and he's balling.
Like Carm.
And
just like Carman.
Yeah, and KQ, I get it. He only had 7 throws. I got it. So, and I also just said KQ that, like, hey, I got to struggle to find a best and worst. I just would like to see those guys get the ball. And I wouldn't have minded, hey, I mean, Tyson Bagent could throw the ball to Tyler Scott. He could throw the ball to Rome Odunze too. So it's not just 7 throws. But my best, I'm going to split it. I first off, we mentioned it earlier. Shout out to DJ Moore, who does not need to be fighting for yards in the preseason, but that's just the dude that he is, which is why the Bears A, traded for him, B, extended him, C, made him the face of their schedule release, D, anytime they get to put that guy in front of anywhere, they're comfortable doing it because he's just the dude that you want on your team.
Highest paid player in Bears history.
Right. And he's bonding with Keenan and that whole little nice little moment on TV. Like, just DJ Moore is just a credit to the organization. He's beloved in that locker room, and here he is in the preseason fighting for yards. That is just, I just underline who he is. But I'm also going to shout out a guy who sat right here on the show, Austin Booker. You, sir, had a day. He's been talking a lot of, big time confidence in himself. It's like, well, okay, that's sweet, but we got to see it. We saw it today. 2.5 sacks and, couple tackles for loss in there, the whole thing. But it wasn't even just, and the production's got to be there, but it was the moves that he was showing. This dude has variance, Herb.
Hey, he took a step up the field inside on one play. Great spin move to the outside. Pressure. I don't know if he got a hit. Didn't get the sack there, but that we were all like, yo, did you see that move right there? It was flawless. It was smooth. It wasn't like kind of like didn't look rough. It was just step up the field to the inside, spin back outside, left the left tackle sitting out there by himself.
Elite freaking athlete.
Nah.
And that stuff, it also shows that you are working long and hard on your footwork to be able to do that stuff and have some natural feel to it. It was impressive.
I talked to him in the locker room. My bad.
No, you're good.
I talked to him in the locker room last week after the game at the Hall of Fame against the Texans, and he was like, listen, I thought I did good. He's like, obviously I wanted to get a sack. It didn't happen. He said, but I thought I did good in terms of setting the edge in the run game. He's like, a lot of people don't think I can do that at this level because I'm a smaller defensive end, but he's like, I'm able to use my long arm to kind of set that edge. Yep. And then we talked about his ability to come up with the counter move. We know he's got the speed. We know he's got the bendability. What are the counter moves? Well, we saw a couple of them today. We saw him using his hands, and we saw just the motor. One of those sacks that last sack was just an effort sack. Just like, I'm going to keep rushing. If it takes 4, 5, 6 seconds, I'm still coming, and you still got to deal with me. So, very, very impressive game from him. The Bears need it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what I like. So he had some really nice plays in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. But if you belong in the NFL, you should be making plays in the fourth quarter of a first preseason game.
Those second and third guys couldn't deal with them.
Right. I mean, by the time you're in the fourth quarter, those are third string dudes. Right?
Those are future colleagues of whoever.
Exactly. Right. And so at the end of the day, though, he made plays on them because, like, once you see guys, that are starting to get bumped off the roster play in those quarters and they don't make plays, that's much worse. So he's an ascending rookie. Early in the game, he had back-to-back plays where he was creating pressure, and then, he comes – what I like is the pursuit stuff.
Yep.
The effort, not giving up on a play, coming back on the backside of a run and going and running a guy down. I've seen him at camp more than a few times get to the sideline on a long run, and he's one of the first guys chasing the running back down. So that's that hits philosophy that you want to see, from your rookie defensive end. So, couple sacks today. It's great progress. Hopefully he starts to see, as Gary pointed out in the chat, more reps against some of the more legitimate NFL talent that he's going to go up against.
And again, this is no Montez Sweat on the field.
Right.
So when Montez Sweat's on the field, it leans even further because he's going to face the double teams. You're going to get a lot of more one-on-ones in there. And what are you asking of Austin Booker? You aren't asking him to come in and be your 3-down defensive end. We're not asking him to say, stop the run on first and second down, then we'll get the pass on third down. We're just saying, hey, come in here when we kick DeMarcus inside and be able to bring some consistent pressure. Today he showed the traits that should allow him to be one of the 7-8 guys that you need in rotation in today's NFL.
And he had the one sack where literally no one blocked him. So if he has that happen 17
he's
more times
gonna get 100
this season,
sacks.
then look out, NFL. Look out, NFL. And I saw somebody in the chat, Daniel, I think, said, I liked 92 more. And he was in our notes. He was in my notes for the day.
Yeah, they both met the quarterback on that play.
Daniel Hardy.
Yeah.
He made enough plays. This is what I do at camp, too. If you make enough plays and I don't know who you are or where you came from, and I start Googling, all your different attributes and your story, that's how you start to notice, the fans are noticing, the coaches are noticing. So to your point, Christian said it, Daniel Hardy making some plays in the second half.
Had a pretty solid camp. He's earned some reps with the first team in practice a few times. He's had a pretty good camp. He did have the outsides today, jumped early, one of the plays early in the game, but he's had a good camp too. Listen, the Bears know that they have, let's say 3 or 4 guys, right? They know they have 3 or 4 guys up front, but they need 3 or 4 or 5 more guys. And the more these guys continue to show that they can be that, whether it's Khalid Kareem or it's Austin Booker, or it's Hardy, these guys got to show up. And so the more opportunities they get, the better.
I mean, Hardy's path to the NFL is not an easy one. He's going junior college of the Ciscos, I believe it's called. Yep. Then he makes his way to Montana State. Then he, gets to the Rams in 22, and now he's here with the Bears. Will he make the team? He certainly improved his chances today. The Bears had 8. We're credit for 8 sacks today.
Let's go, Rushman.
2.5 for Booker, 2.5 for Hardy, and then the others. Khalid Kareem got himself a sack.
They were eating up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, Zach Pickens coverage sack or whatever just fell, but was there, and then Amin Agbangbamija also had. So there's your 8. Bamiga, my bad.
He also had a great PBU earlier in the game when he laid out full extension to break up what would be 15, 20-yard first down for sure. That was nice.
Then he missed a tackle on the next play. But really nice play on the PB.
But Herb was, and we all were, but you really, and both of you actually both just jumped up and down and said, this guy's been having a great camp. Micah Baskerville.
Let's go, Micah.
2 years in a row.
Stepping in the passing lanes, getting the pick, 53-yard return for a touchdown, 47 looking nice.
44 better get off that bike. I'm talking to you, Noah Sewell. You better get back on the field. He's been out all camp. And Micah's been making plays in practice, and then he comes out here and gets him a very nice pick 6. That wasn't no fluky thing. That was all hands, hit the sideline, beat the quarterback to the end zone.
Biscuit in the Baskerville is what I said on Twitter. It's probably really stupid, but that's what I said. We got about 5 minutes, it seems like, before it looks like Nick Moreano is going to be able to jump in live from Buffalo after the big game, see what the locker room and the guys had to say from the press conferences. But did we want to touch on the roller coaster ride that is Velus Jones before we get to Nick?
We sure do, Gregory. Don't
bet your sweet Bippy.
Yeah, you bet your sweet Bippy. We do. We could talk about Velus. Look,
I just wanted to give you the Nick update because I'm talking with him.
No, I appreciate it. 5 minutes to Nick.
And Nick did send us some Tory Taylor video. He said we should play. That'll be ready in 2 minutes.
Okay, great. So we got Tory Taylor coming up. We got Nick coming up. Let's talk about Velus right now. First pitch to him. He didn't catch the ball. It didn't look like a great pitch from Tyson, but I think, judging by the fact that he didn't see the ball until the second half again, I thought that Velus did something wrong on that play because all of a sudden Travis Homer's getting a bunch of carries. But when he did get back out there, we started to see why the Bears finally, maybe it should have been a lot earlier, but finally they figured out this dude looks like a running back because when the ball's in his hands, you see the speed, and that is attractive.
I tweeted out that I feel like this year is a move. This move is a year late. They should have done this thing a year ago, right? We talked about it earlier. He doesn't do the other things you ask him to do well: route running, tracking the ball, catching. He does. I don't know what that was on that kick return. How are you trying to track the ball, jump and catch it up here? That was insane. But what he does do well is once he has the ball secured, he is a dynamic playmaker with the ball in his hand. So just do that. But I'll start with the things that he didn't do well. The toss. I agree with you. I don't know what happened, but I agree with you that it's most likely his fault. Tyson Bagent has made that toss thousands of times, right? Velus has not run that track on the toss thousands of times. So I would imagine if I had to bet, he was wrong, not Tyson. Same thing later when they give him the straight handoff and he trips over Tyson's feet. I watched the replay. Tyson didn't do anything weird with his feet. He opened up, got to the spot, bailed out like he was supposed to. Velus trips over his feet. Velus just isn't used to the track. He doesn't know exactly where that path is. He'll get used to it, though, right? But once he's able to get the ball in his hand, he'll be fine. Do those things look clunky on the field, especially at the NFL level? Yeah, but it's new to him. But once he does have the ball in his hands, you've seen what he can do with the ability. You toss it to him on the outside. He even had a dive up the inside where he got 4 or 5 yards. So I think he can manage it, but it is new to him. So sometimes you may see some of those just weird looking things because he just doesn't know what the track is. He doesn't know where the mesh point exactly is. Some of those things are just weird. We saw Tyson and Tyler Scott not be able to link up on the jet sweep. That was weird too. But I think Velus will be okay if he gets more reps at it. I don't know if there's a spot for him on this team like that, especially considering how we looked on that kick return, trying to fill that. But I do think he's finally in the right spot, and I think whatever his career is going forward, it'll be more coming out of the backfield than as a straight receiver.
Well, in the kick return, and I anticipate that Velus is going to be the Bears' kick returner, but the kick return is what could actually get him cut.
Yeah, for real.
You start doing that, you do that another time or two. Then if they can't trust you,
can't be
there,
positionless at this point. And then the one thing that
we count on you to do,
it can't happen.
No.
Well, and it's interesting. Cut Velus, keep Elon Wheeler, who did look good late in the game and got himself in the end zone.
Because if you're Velus Jones, how many times are you going to make a game-breaking touchdown versus how many times are you going to make a mistake that's going to cost you a game?
That's real.
So you can't have the coaches weighing that thought.
That's real.
And so if you're a good kick returner, then you're going to have a place on this team and then figure out your way into a running back role, a small wide receiver role where they get you in
gunner
motion.
Value, which he should be able to have at his size with his speed. He should be a pretty good gunner at this level. So
because you got 6 carries for 34 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, got a rushing touchdown. You see the physicality, you see the speed. There's going to be a big learning curve for a guy that doesn't play that position.
Sure.
You do, even though he's not a good wide receiver, he can play the position if you in a pinch or if you want to do something, some little trickery or whatever, get guys sleeping because they're not paying attention to him. But at the end of the day, your foundation has to be that you're reliable on kick returns. And today, not a good look to drop that one.
Well, and if we want to go down the nervous Velus alley, if you will, so we get the positive. Look, the guy has averaged 9.5 yards a carry as a running back. I had to look that up to figure that out earlier in the week. But he's gotten the ball 17 times over 2 years. He's averaged 9.5 a carry. That is fantastic, phenomenal.
It's not nothing.
Yeah, it's not. It's not nothing. It's what you want. It's double what you want, really. But it also just reminds me, like, when he was – I'll go back to when he was a punt returner. They're playing the Giants, and it's an 8-point game, and the ball's going to him, and he ends up dropping it, turnover, game over. And it almost feels like if you're going down the nervous thing, it's like you give him the ball, you're just worried that he's going to fumble it at some point in a key spot. He's got to become a trustworthy dude, and – he's got a ways to get there. So how much will the Bears continue to invest in him? They obviously like his talent because he's still here.
Right. Well, New Harper in the chat says Velus is a deep threat on offense in regards to wide receiver. That's it. Well, this is where I disagree because if you looked at Tyler Scott on that end around, drop that football, that's the kind of play that Velus Jones can play. If you got him lined up in the slot as a wide receiver, you send him in motion in the backfield, you hand it off to him. That's something that the defense has to account for. Even if you send him in motion and you don't hand him the football,
play off of it.
How many times did we see that last year where they had him in motion and that opened up running lanes for Justin Fields the opposite direction? So a guy like that, whether he's flawed or not, the defense has to account for him because speed is so important in this league. And he's got it in bunches. But the ball security thing, no secret to everybody here, but it's just an issue, and he's got to get it figured out. And same with Tyler Scott, to that matter, because he put a ball on the turf today. And both those guys, they have the case of the dropsies one too many times. And coaches just, especially with the depth that this roster's starting to build, you're not going to have very much margin of error that you've had the last couple of years.
Some coaches got families and they got mortgages, and if it's not safe to put the ball in your hands, I'm not putting it in your hands, man.
Well, and which I like about the Bears putting it in his hands, because it was nerve-wracking to me. Nerve-wracking is the way I was scratching my head. Hey, you said he was going to play running back. Why am I seeing out of nowhere Travis Homer get the football, which we know you're not giving Travis Homer the football when it matters. So give the ball to Velus and let's see what he can do. But he did get it 6 times today, which was the second most to Herbert's 9. Keep doing that in the final 2 preseason games and see.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. I would give it to, look, it's the preseason. Who cares? I'd give it to him down by the goal line. Let's see what you can do. They did it, and Herb, you made the point, like when they gave it to him on the short side and he couldn't get to the pylon, you're like, why would you give it to him on the short side? Next play or whatever it was, they gave it to him with a whole lot of room to the far side, and he got there.
Yeah, and it could have just been simple as trying to set it up, right? You set it up, and I don't like toss to the short side of the field. It just you run out of space too fast. I don't like it. But the next play, they use the wide side of the field, and his speed is going to allow him to outrun any defensive end, any outside linebacker, and any out-leveraged DB to the pylon, which is exactly what he did. Just use him for what he's able to do, and don't stress so much about what he can't do, because you talk about a 6', 6'1" guy, 212, 215 pounds. He's solid, and he's got elite speed. You can't tell me you can't use that dude on a football field. To me, that's more of an indictment on you than it is on him.
He also got more of an opportunity today, at least in theory, because Roschon Johnson wasn't there.
Sure.
So when 23 comes back,
how many carries are available for him? Probably not many.
And so the other whole part about this is like, how many receivers do you think they're going to keep?
Generally, I usually say 6.
Okay, so who are they?
Well, you got 3. Then you got Tyler Scott.
Not impressing, but probably is.
Yeah, but he's probably making the team. Colin Johnson was making a case for himself. Scores 2 touchdowns and then misses the entire week.
Right.
Dante Pettis made a couple nice plays today. I don't know. They don't.
DeAndre Carter got blown up.
DeAndre Carter on the where he didn't field the punt.
Was just
then that's why Caleb Williams and the offense started on the 3-yard line. You got to. I mean, it's such a tricky thing when that punt is around that 10-yard line. But he had a lot of room, and I felt like he should have tried to return that.
And that's what he's here for. That's like Velus muffing the kickoff. That's why you two dudes are on the team. You don't muff the kickoff. You don't misjudge the punt. You can't let that thing bounce like that and end up inside the 5-yard line.
I got to be honest. I was stunned that happened with DeAndre Carter because he's been incredibly solid during training camp. So I'm not sure what happened on that play. Maybe Nick has something for us, although that's a very nuanced question that he probably didn't get to. But that was just weird to me. And Kendall Williamson, who cracked him on the sidelines.
Egregious.
That was egregious. That was dangerous. That was wrong.
Yeah.
I understand you're trying to make an impact and maybe
get a roster spot. Former Bear as well.
Yeah, I mean that was dangerous. I thought, like, did he just break his arm on that, which would have been tragic? He didn't, because he was back on the field, but not a great moment for Kendall.
Something asshole. Yes. What was it? I forget. What were we talking about?
I don't know, but both y'all yelled the same thing. You and Steven yelled the same thing, but then you were like, asshole.
Get down, asshole.
Can't remember what it was.
Yeah. So
was that when DJ Moore was fighting for more yards?
No, it was later.
We were yelling.
It was something else, but it was funny though.
So
apologize for the quick freeze there. Glad that hopefully we are back to stay. Damn it.
You guys are breaking the internet. But keep coming in. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button.
Yeah. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Pre and post game. And then, of course, after every training camp practice, we are there. Only 11 left, which is hard to believe. Cincinnati coming in this week. Going to be a fun week with the Bengals and then seeing them next Saturday. And, this CHGO Bears, come on. This is where you want to be. Let's bring in our guy, Nicholas Moreano, live from Buffalo. Nick, take us around the locker room. What did you learn in the post game?
Yeah, let's start with DJ Moore. You guys, he spoke to the media, and like he was right next to Keenan Allen, and the guys' relationships with each other, like they love each other. And Keenan Allen, while DJ's trying to do his interviews, just trying to mess with him the entire time. So it was kind of funny, but. He was asked, like, the first 2 drives with Caleb, how were they? And DJ was like, he went out there with a ton of confidence, said it was amazing. On that 3rd down completion to DJ on 3rd and 12, said that the defense was playing zone, and he really just put the ball right on him, right on the money. And he was also asked, could you just feel the confidence from Caleb Williams? And DJ said, yeah, he was loud and precise, and, got a little rowdy here with these Buffalo Bills fans, and obviously an away game, but he said he was loud, he was precise, and you could feel that confidence resonating as he's kind of calling out these plays. And I would say, too, just real quickly, that was a consistent theme from the players I talked to when describing Caleb Williams and his poise and collection in the huddle. DeAndre Swift said very similar things. Darnell Wright, who doesn't say all too much, said that, too, as he's kind of relaying the plays. He felt that confidence as well. And then that throw on the run that Caleb had to Cole Kmet, DJ described it second to none. And And he also mentioned that, yeah, he should have also caught the ball that he, threw right on the money to him. Like DJ owned that. He knew he should have caught that ball. So just a lot of praise for QB1 number 18 in today's debut from DJ Moore. Also got a chance to talk to DeAndre Swift, you guys, and on the shovel pass, DeAndre was a little self-critical on himself. He said that should have been 6, but he tripped up. But he said Caleb Williams did a really good job of just able to get that ball to him with all the traffic that was around him. So did a good job avoiding pressure, DeAndre said, and making something happen. And again, that word comfortable came up again from it was first DJ and then DeAndre comfortable. And he also said he just looked like he was having fun out there. And, when I was just Herb, I was trying to, take what you said earlier in the pregame, try to watch him on the sideline. Like, yes, he would go off to the side after a drive, go with quarterback's coach, Kerry Joseph. But then I think it was the last drive, one of the last drives, the first team defense was out there. Caleb goes out. He's like, high-fiving all the defensive players after coming off the field. And you can just tell he's engaged, which I like. And I'm going to continue, and we'll watch that next time we see the Bengals game just to see how he is on the sideline. But going back to DeAndre real quick, like in the huddle, like I asked him, like, how was he in the huddle? Again, relaying those plays. Again, he said it was solid. You could tell he was playing football, felt comfortable. And then he was asked, DeAndre, about the throw to Komet, which I think is just going viral all over Twitter. But he said just natural, God-given ability. So you're getting all these things from Caleb Williams and what he was able to do. And then kind of rolling down real quick, you guys. Tory Taylor, got a chance to talk to him and making his debut with punting. The win that I mentioned earlier in the game, it was definitely a factor. Tory Taylor said it was one of the toughest games he's ever played in. This is a guy in the Midwest, obviously in Iowa, playing in those types of elements. He said this one was crazy. And I was talking to Cairo Santos a little bit afterwards. He said even for himself, it was a tough place to just kick in. He mentioned like the guys like Tory Taylor, like I don't know how you guys did it, but there were some serious elements they had to battle there. But this was his first game punting, and he said in like 9 months, so he felt good. He did feel the nerves the first time he went out there, but he just wanted to make it maximum contact when he did, and just tried to maximize his time out there. And then, Carm, I saw your message. Did I hear from Caleb Williams? I did hear a little bit from Caleb Williams. Again, that confidence, he was asked about the confidence. Is that natural? And he said he wouldn't say it's natural. Caleb said it comes from a lot of hard work, from years of putting himself in the position he is today to when he does go out there. It's not like he's trying to show his teammates, like, yeah, look how confident I am in the huddle, everything. It's like this is just the progression of putting in that hard work year after year after year to get himself in the position that he's in today. I think he also said to you guys, I know a lot of people are saying it wasn't a no-look pass to DeAndre Swift. I think Caleb Williams, he cleared it up. I came in right when he was talking about it. He said technically he did see DeAndre Swift, so I guess we got to take that one off for the no-look pass. I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but I guess that wouldn't go down as his first. Let's see. He was asked about the slide on the third down play. He's like, yeah, we practiced that. You guys saw it, the slippy slide. Yeah, so he got a chance to bring that, and that's crazy how you practice something, it comes out, you have to use it in a game. That's exactly why you do things in practice. But he did say on that play he had an initial plan, but based on how the defense was playing that specific play, he saw the C's part, and he was able to just take advantage of what the defense gave him. And then one last thing, quickly here, again, that play to Cole. He said that had been a play that the offense has been repping for a while now. And again, he used the word the C's parted and Cole's running down the sideline, and then you just got to get the ball to Cole and let them do their magic. So all in all, guys, I think the offensive players that I got a chance to talk to, they were really happy with how the operation and just how everything came about with the offense today.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the energy at camp this week when you have a game like you did today and we're able to do so many different things that you've worked on. I feel like this is a real cultivating moment here in the preseason for them. You predicted it in the pregame show, Nick. We asked you over under more or less, Moreano or less. I'm butchering it. Less or Moreano of 15 snaps or more for Caleb Williams, and he had 18. So I know you're not surprised by the snap count, but are you surprised on the type of snaps? Because to me, and we're seeing it here on the if you're watching on our YouTube channel, 18 snaps, 4 of 7, 2 drops, 95 passing yards, 13 rushing yards, a third down conversion and 2 scoring drives. But ultimately, some of these decisions, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 9, dropping back, going into full field read progressions. Are you surprised in the types of plays they dialed up for Caleb this early in the preseason?
Not really, Greg. I mean, yes, he was asked to do those things, but I think that just goes into the confidence that this coaching staff has in Caleb Williams. And when you see those designed rollout passes, like you're playing to one of his best strengths. Yes, it does cut the field down in half, but would you want anybody else throwing a ball on the money even when there's pressure in his face? Like Caleb put some darts out there, especially the one to Cole. Like that is not an easy pass by any means, but he was able to get it out there. So it didn't surprise me. I mean, you did see some under center work. You saw some obviously plays in the shotgun. I wish that when they got into the red zone the first time, and I think Khalil Herbert gets tripped up for a negative gain on the play, you want to see what the play calling would have looked like there in the low red zone. And you would have seen like maybe if Shane Waldron would have, just dialed up some more passing plays for Caleb to work in that condensed area of the field. Who knows? But I wasn't all too surprised on like the types of play calls because, again, I think that goes back to the coaching staff and the confidence that they have in Caleb Williams right now.
I think it's also, just about being in preseason. I was just as upset as Braggs was at the play call down there. But you talk about getting into your red zone package in the first preseason, second preseason game, but first for your number ones. I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to get into your red zone package like that in a game of this magnitude. So I get it. Let's try and see if we can run it in or whatever. But I would have liked to see Coach Waldron digging his bag just a little bit to see, what Caleb can do in that condensed area, like you said. And, when the field gets a little tighter and the coverage gets a little closer. But all in all, I thought, they all looked good. I thought Caleb did very, very well. And I think that just going into next week is going to be a sense of kind of knowing, right? That unknown factor is kind of gone, right? You're kind of wondering, I think we got something, but I don't know if we have something. I think we good, but I don't know if we good.
Yep.
I think as a collective, for the team, offense, defense, special teams, to go out there and put together a good performance.
Joint practice on
leads
Thursday.
You to have some real confidence going into the week. You got the joint practice coming in on Thursday. The Bengals will be here. It's going to be awesome. I think just the vibes and the energy will be high, and it's something for them to build off of.
Hey, Nick, would you call the locker room, I don't know, jovial would be like a 6 out of 10, ecstatic 9 out of 10, like all business just 5 out of 10? What would you say?
Rate the meatball.
Rate the meatball. Yeah, no, it was like I put it like an 8 meatball. Like the music was blasting. Like Velus had his. I don't know if maybe it wasn't Velus, but there was a speaker over to our left as we're trying to interview DJ Moore. Like Keenan Allen's like, pump that thing up, keep pumping it up. So the guys were excited. They were excited. And again, I think there's a lot of excitement to be had because of what, again, small sample size from what we saw from number 18. So I think that it was definitely a locker room that is wanting almost to see more too, to be completely honest, because we got 2 drives out there. And they didn't, like DeAndre Swift's like the biggest thing next time for this offense. We want to finish with 6. So there's this excitement, but also this want for what they know this offense can do, is put the ball in the end zone and score. So there is that as well, you guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing what would happen in the locker room next week if they were to, pull out a victory against the Cincinnati Bengals and that first team offense and defense has good performance.
All right, hit the like button for Nicholas Moreano and all his work. We're gonna play some of his interviews from the locker room coming up here. Nick, I think you might get to be a part of some happy locker rooms this year, buddy.
Let's go.
You and Herb at Soldier, and on the road too for that matter.
Listen, we sat through 14 straight losses. We deserve a streak of happy locker rooms. It makes our job easier. It makes the entire city of Chicago so much better when the Bears are good. I don't care if you're a fan, reporter, whatever. The city is better when the Bears are good. I want the Bears to be good. I need the Bears to be good. Bring me back some wings, Nick. Go back to Duff's and throw some in your bag for me.
Nick, travel safe. Go get yourself some more wings before you fly on out. And do a good job this week with Carm on vacation because, I got to get a vacation. I'm exhausted. So
that won't be a problem.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. I know you won't miss me. Nick, great stuff, man.
All right, you guys. See ya.
Appreciate you, Nick.
Nicholas Moreano live from Buffalo. Should we hear some of his work? Just one comment before we get there. One, shout out to the U.S. men's basketball team who took home the gold, beat France 98-87. Steph Curry leading the way with 24.
Man. Steph.
Durant 15. Booker 15. LeBron led the way with 5 turnovers.
These guys, you and Hogue. Would you just say spoiler alert before you do that?
Nah.
They just go right in, don't they?
Just went right into it.
They just go right in.
Like me and Herb weren't going to go home and watch that.
I definitely was, but it's okay. But I also knew that game wouldn't be as good as the Serbia game. That Serbia game was
great.
So good.
It was great.
So good.
It was great.
We all knew they were winning today. Sorry, I should have done spoiler alert. My bad. But it's all over the chat.
No, I see it. It's all good.
I mean, come on.
It's all good.
So shut up.
Any chance we get to give you a hard time, we're gonna take.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so let's play Nick's interview with Tory Taylor here. Let's hear what Punt God had to say after his first opportunity to get to punt the ball, which was a little weird to me. They couldn't punt in the Hall of Fame game, but he got to punt today. Here he comes, Tory Taylor, after his first preseason action in the NFL.
I mean, first time punting in preseason NFL game. What was that like?
Yeah, it was fun, man. I mean, I usually keep everything the same, so I just tried not to make anything too different, but it was good to be back out there. It'd been it would have been 8-9 months since I punted in a game, so it was good to be back out there doing my thing, so I loved it.
How was the win? I mean, we saw
it
the
was
win.
crazy. It was crazy, and people probably wouldn't have realized that on the TV, but it was blowing like real hard out there. It wasn't one of probably the toughest games I've ever played in terms of wind.
The adjustment that you have to make then, like, what was that like?
Just got my certain lines, just still trying to make maximum contact with the ball and really just do my thing. I can't control the wind, but you can control like how you use it. So just try to use it to my advantage, and I was lucky that guys were down there covering and they did a great job. So I'm really just lucky that guys on the punt unit want to be out there and making plays. So it was good fun.
And then in terms of like your next opportunity, what are you looking forward to most? Trying to again show what you can.
Just consistency. I think it's one of those things, just taking one rep at a time. And like I said, I know that the guys covering punts and everyone protecting me are doing a great job. So it's not just me out there. But I'm just looking forward to getting back out there next week and have another opportunity to kind of just go out there and do my thing, really.
Tory, any nerves when you went out for the first one?
Absolutely. But it all goes so quickly, to be honest, that you don't really have time to think. So just kind of just like I said, went out there and kind of just did what I knew best and just tried to make good contact with the ball and let the rest take care of itself.
Herb, you're in love, man.
I am, man. Yeah. I am. I like what he has to say about it. I like how he says, listen, the wind was swirling down there a lot more than you can see on the television. We saw clips where those flags were flying everywhere. I saw clips, can't remember which defensive end for us had kind of like looser sleeves. It might have been Zach Pickens, but his sleeves were just blowing as he was just standing there. So you can tell that wind was kind of swirling down there. But he says, listen, you can't control the wind, but you can control how you use it. And I try to use it to my advantage. The dude is playing the wind. He's playing the angles. He's pulling out the wedge. He's pulling out the driver. He's got every club in his bag. That dude is really a weapon. I'm just serious, man. I don't know, like, if this defense is what I think they can be, I don't know how frequently teams are going to be able to drive 90, 95 yards against them. And if he can consistently put them, minus 10 or worse, it's going to be a huge weapon.
I mean, you saw the special teams in the Lovie Smith days help win the field position battle and the defense.
All the time.
You were bend but don't break Lovie defense. You're not driving the whole field, to your point. And so, hey, he talks about the wind being crazy today. Good, because you're going to be doing that the rest of your life here in Chicago.
Right.
So I'm glad you got a nice little simulation. It's only going to get worse from here.
All right. I am here for the Tory Taylor Love Fest. I'm here for the
I thought you were about to quibble.
It sounds like he's about to brag on it.
No,
I feel like there still may be like a butt coming.
Whenever he's about to quibble, he's got kind of this like dead-eyed look, like he's sick of everybody. It's coming.
I'm not sick of anyone. The Bears, it was a phenomenal, enjoyable day today. I enjoy everything that's happening right now.
Maybe the bagels are kicking in.
I love talking. No.
They were very good. Thank you.
He was clutch for bringing the bagels.
That was very nice.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to my favorite place, but you guys got. Yeah, I was a little bit on the time
we got
constraints.
secondary
You got.
bagels. Okay, whatever.
We got Bajan bagels.
No, you got Bajan. What do we think about Tyson today? Yeah, okay, there it is. It was in the middle. I get it.
Go back to your. You had a Tory thought.
My Tory thought was
he just goes
right.
Well, he Bajan bageled me, and I ADD kicked in, and I went to Bajan. Back to Tory. Thank you. Look, all I said at the time was that I wanted them to address the myriad of needs that they had versus a punter, because I thought that was a luxury pick. So that is a comment that is fine on its own, and then I am allowed to like Tory Taylor.
No, you cannot. Trust me.
I can't like him. Oh, well, no, not with some. But I'm giving myself full permission. I can like him, and I love having that person. What I like about him the most, outside of the incredible talent that he has kicking the football, and that he's a super nice guy and all the things, I like that there's that personality in the locker room. Yeah. I like different flavor. Yeah. The Bears having just all sorts of different things going on. It built, like, you've got right down the middle DJ who's going to give you that wry sense of humor. You've got a little more, been there, done that, has his own set of humor, yet can play the game too. And Keenan, Caleb is his own super smart guy, but also will do things like Roma Dunze and and the claw and all that stuff. So we're getting some flow in here, and which is exciting because these guys are going to be here. Yeah. DJ's not going anywhere. Caleb's not going anywhere. Jalen Johnson, another cat in a new car, not going anywhere.
He's just getting real quiet, and I love it.
Yeah,
not like him personally, but I mean during the games, it's like, is Jalen Johnson out there? Yes, he's out there, but they won't dare throw the ball over there because he's got dudes on ice.
I just started a poll in the chat. Is Carm allowed to enjoy Tory Taylor? We'll see the results, and whatever that is will be the deciding factor by the end of the show.
You can
really got to take the producer controls away from you.
I just realized I could do that more often.
Whatever you want to do to amuse yourself is good. Just just try to stay with the show at the same time. I know that's you're not one.
A lot going on.
You can't rub your belly and pat your head at the same time. We know
that's
this.
Tough. Yeah. That's really tough.
Oh, he just. Thank you. All right, can I get a little more?
I did just rub my head while I rub my belly.
Yeah. Can we get a little more Nicholas Moreano from the locker rooms interviews? No, we cannot. Almost.
All right,
Okay.
All right. Steven's working hard.
Men said he'd let you know.
Okay. All right.
We appreciate the hard work here from Steven.
We do.
It's been a lot of super chats rolling through. Can we hit some of them or no?
Sure, we can hit a couple.
It's a good idea.
Absolutely. And some of them, I think, when we froze.
Yeah, I know we froze some out.
We lost some of them, but I have them on my laptop. I don't have every one of them, but I've got some of the bigger ones.
Okay. And we can do that too. But I think Steven's got to get the video up first. So why don't you get that done, and we will continue to move the conversation around here, because there's a bunch of corners that we haven't hit yet on today's Bears domination performance. Look. Caleb, let's just start back at the top. 18 plays today, was that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So as we
I was hoping I was right. I said 19 snaps, and I'm just
let's move it forward. Do we think he plays more this week against the Bengals?
$1 million question, right?
I would kind of like for him to, but because it's that joint practice, coaches like to say we can get more out of the joint practices than we can out of the game. So Flus may decide to go that direction. I don't know. I would kind of like to see them continue to build on this. Then let them put the ball in the end zone once or twice. Let's continue to get this thing rolling. They probably won't play much out there in Kansas City, so let's let them play a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
at least as much.
I think he's going to play against the Bengals more, and I think he's going to play plenty as well against the Chiefs in the last game also, which is August 22nd. They don't play.
They still got plenty of time. You're right.
Yeah, they don't play until September the 8th.
You're right.
That is 17 days. That is a long
clearly
ass
he can
time.
go 266 days and come out just fine. So,
well, that too. But look, it was sweet. 4 for 7, 2 drops, 1 overthrow that was pretty much right there in the corner of the end zone. I mean, it's a hell of a day. But let's keep it building, man.
14 and 19 is up there, you know.
Sure. C.J. Stroud last year, I looked it up. I don't have it in front of me, but his biggest game was the middle game. That was the most he played, and I know the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I know they were looking when they got to the 45 to 55 snaps that he's going to play. They were looking at how guys did it last year, so that's why. And if you look at how it went with CJ, he played the most in the second game. So if they're following that script, that's what it's going to look like.
Right.
Yes.
And to your point, if they don't play in that last preseason game, and they only play in the Bengals game, that's 22 days from September 8th. So it's 17's already a lot. And we're going to find out this week, right? Because last year in Indianapolis, there was 2 joint practices at the Colts facility, which Matt Eberflus used as his reasoning why the first team offense, specifically Justin Fields, didn't play in the preseason game that Saturday at Indy. This year, there's only 1 joint practice at Hallis Hall with Cincinnati before they take them on the 17th next Saturday. So I'm going to monitor the situation today. I was pleasantly surprised to see how many snaps they got. So the more you do things that keep me quiet, the less I'm going to set up my complaint for the next week and see how you're going to approach it. You know, Thursday should be a really fun joint practice. And then Saturday, go out there and play into the second quarter. Hell, play the whole half for all I care, because then when you enter the third preseason game, I mean, if you got 18 snaps today, and let's say you play a whole half on next Saturday against the Bengals, you're going to be pretty close to that 45 number, because Matt Eberflus is the one that set me up for this to be obsessed over. He's the one that said 45 to 65 and named all the different quarterbacks that got snaps in the preseason last year. So you get close to that 45 number this Saturday against the Bengals, then that last week of the season, you can play a series or 2 like you did today and kind of throttle down a little bit, but still have the guys ready to play football for week 1.
I'll give you one surprise that I did not expect today, and we've seen literally everyone on the roster at some point returning punts in training camp. But Josh Blackwell got 2 punt returns today.
Rome didn't.
And Rome did not. And Tyreek's been back there a ton, but of course he's hurt, so couldn't do it. It was an interesting opportunity for Blackwell. His numbers, I'd have to go back and watch him to see exactly, but he had two for 20. It's an average of 10 a shot. He did fine.
That's what you're looking for. First of all, secure the ball, make sure we get the ball back. Second of all, try to get us an extra first down. 2 for 20 does that. So I thought Josh was fine. I mean, I don't think that's what it's going to be come the season, but like we talked about earlier, DeAndre Carter didn't have his best game back there. So, you know, I think they're still working through that process. You talk about the numbers game at wide receiver, at running back, whatever it's going to be. You're going to kind of work yourself through that process and see what your punt return options are. Can we talk a little bit more about the defense, though?
Sure.
Like, I rightfully so, we talked about Caleb, and then we got into some other things on the offense. But that defense against the number 1 Bills offense, they did pretty good. They had, 3 points, right?
Tremaine Edmonds had that tip pass.
Tremaine Edmonds had a tip pass. And we're talking about a defense that doesn't have Montez. They don't have Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, right? This isn't the unit that they want to run out there week 1. Those 4 guys, I think, make them better, right? But the unit that they had out there played pretty well against Josh Allen, that first team offense.
Yeah, I mean, the depth is starting to shine through a little bit, right?
It is.
I mean, when you talk about Josh Blackwell and Jalen Jones, they were getting legitimate snaps and starts here the last couple of years. Not just last year, the year before last year is when Blackwell and Jalen Jones really started to emerge. Elijah Hicks, to your point. Micah Baskerville, last couple of years has been making some plays. So, you know, you have an opportunity. Dominique Robinson made a play on the defensive line. Good for him.
Zach Pickett's made some plays you saw in there. Like these guys are starting to, you know, come into their own as players, and they're starting to kind of highlight the depth that they have, especially in that secondary, but also in that linebacker spot, right? You know you love your first 3, right? TJ and Tremaine and Jack, love those dudes. But now you're talking about getting into Micah Baskerville. We still think highly of Noah Sewell. Like, these are some guys that you're going to be able to depend on in a pinch if a guy goes down. And so, being able to kind of develop this depth is a really, really good thing. I talked to those 3 guys we talking about in the secondary last week after the game against the Texans, and that's exactly what Jalen Jones was saying. The fact that these guys are in their 3rd year playing together, right? You talk about Elijah Hicks and Jalen Jones and Josh Blackwell. They love playing together, and you can see it. They feel comfortable when they're out there on the field.
And that matters. Defense, being on a string, the whole thing. All that matters. It can cover up for, somewhat of a lack of talent.
Terrell Smith not there?
And yeah, exactly.
That's even more depth, right? He's your number 3 corner.
Yeah, right. And don't look now. Austin Booker, a rookie, starting to make his little flashes. And my guy, undrafted free agent, Reddy Stewart.
Made a big play on the 4th.
From Troy, the corner.
Got the 4th round stuff.
The gap.
Come on
the run stuff on 4th down in the 4th quarter to get the stop.
Well, we were with Bears nickel coach Overstreet over the weekend, or during the week, rather, I should say. He shouted out Reddy Stewart for how much that dude studies and how he's so on point. So can he make this roster? I don't know. Can he be on the practice squad? I would at least bet on that.
Probably.
I would at least bet on that.
And it's nice to see when these guys, every year you're going to have these camp darlings who either they make some plays in practice and they're making plays in practice, and maybe they don't make plays in the games, or you're like, I haven't even seen this dude at practice, and then he makes a couple plays in the games. These are guys who are making plays in practice, earning first, second team reps in practice, and now you're seeing it translate onto the field. And so I think you're talking about some real depth with some of these guys, and it makes the back end of the roster competition tough. These cuts are going to be tough. Usually when the Bears cut people at the end of cut down, they're done. They're not going to pop up on somebody else's roster. Now, a lot of these guys that get cut from this team are going to play on other NFL rosters this season, maybe even including the backup punter.
All right, on that note, let's hear from some of the stars of today. First up, let's go DeAndre Swift, who was the benefit of the screen pass, the no look.
Should have scored,
could have scored, but still looked pretty damn good.
Pass.
Pretty damn good in space. Here we go with DeAndre. This was Nick in the locker room.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job avoiding the pressure and making something happen, for sure.
What did you make of his debut overall?
I think it was solid. Outside looking at it was solid. He looked comfortable out there, like he was having fun out there. So it looked good.
How was he in the huddle, just in terms of commanding the offense, relaying the plays? How was he
It was good. It was solid. It was good. I feel like it was good for him to get out there, game-like atmosphere. It was cool. You can tell he was back there playing football.
What have you learned about his confidence in himself as you've gone through this process with him today to come out as he did? And it's probably nerve-wracking.
Hey Nick, just not letting the outside noise get in. That's what I would say. Him being comfortable out there, like you say, like he's having fun. That was the main thing I wanted to see out there. Did a good job. Yeah. That's a natural God-given ability he has. So just to be out there and showcase, I feel like he did a good job of that today.
DeAndre, did you get a chance to see a replay of the screen pass?
Yeah, I saw it. Should have been a touchdown. I should never tripped. But he did it. Caleb did his job. I ain't do mine.
So in terms of what you want to see in the next game, what are you kind of looking forward to just being with Caleb for
just as an offense, just finishing getting 6 instead of 3. That's what I would say. Being a little bit more cleaner down red zone.
What does a day like today do for you guys confidence-wise as an offense? You had some funky practices, but today was overall a good operation. You guys did good work.
I feel like the operation was cool. It was clean. But there's always room for improvement. So going back, watching the film, seeing what it is to get better at, and going back to work. Thank you.
The DeAndre Swift, love that he said he should have scored.
He's right.
And credit to these guys, too. At some point, it gets a little exhausting, I'm sure, for them. What about Caleb this, Caleb that, Caleb that, Caleb. And they're not asking about you. These dudes have egos. They want to talk about themselves. Yeah. But they're handling it and they're supporting him.
No, I think they're probably used to it. I mean, not to the level of Caleb Williams and being not only the number 1 overall pick, but also coming in with the pedigree, top-rated quarterback since Andrew Luck type. But every year teams get rookies and they ask them about the DN or the tackle or whomever it may be. So I think they're used to it. But I agree with you. I'm one of the best in the world at what I do too. Stop asking me about this kid. You know what I mean? So, but I think they're handling it well. And I think it's just a testament to the type of person that he's been. I think they genuinely like the kid. I think they genuinely root for him, respect him, and want to follow him.
Swift's been an underrated leader in that locker room, too, since getting here. He's pretty damn straight and down the middle.
It was a nice clip that they had of him on Hard Knocks telling Caleb, like, yo, drive, bro. You got the keys to the car.
Yep.
Drive.
Yeah, I mean, he's seeing things, and he's not afraid to open up his mouth. I'm enjoying it. We got Velus as well, which we're going to play in a second here. Unless, Braggs, you want everything to say about DeAndre? You good?
No, I have nothing to say.
No, that's a rarity.
I never do.
Let's take advantage of that. Velus Jones Jr. coming up for you right here from the locker room, and Nick.
Physicality. So, I mean, why not? Anything, to help this team out, increase value. Like I said, get back to Chicago, get to work.
Velus, what was the conversation like? On that one kickoff, should you have let Tyler catch that, or what happened?
It was a miscommunication, but I'll take the blame on that. I seen they was trying to shy away from me. Instead of Pooch kicking it my way, they tried to kick it across field, and it was a miscommunication thing, but I'll
All right, so we got caught off there, but that's interesting that there was a miscommunication on the one play.
Yeah, I think one of y'all said it while we were watching the game. Was it you? That was like, he probably should have let Tyler field that kick.
It's like when a center fielder and the right fielder,
somebody got a call for it. But Tyler hasn't had a lot of reps back there doing it either. So maybe there was a better communication between Velus and Khalil to say me, or you, whatever the call is for them. Clearly they didn't get it right, and at the last second he's jumping in the air, reaching over his head, trying to catch a kickoff, which I've almost never seen a kickoff be fielded that way. That's weird.
So, and I just appreciate hearing that because we're watching. It's like that can't be what's going on after you've been doing this for this long. How can it be that
I don't
off?
think Hightower's teaching that.
Yeah, right. So there you go. He was trying to cover for his teammate, miscommunication. Never ideal, but first preseason game out there back together, new kickoffs. You get a pass, Velus. You too, Tyler. Don't do it again.
Huh?
What's that?
You giving him a pass?
Yes,
huh?
I'm giving him a pass. I'm giving you a pass. I'm giving myself a pass. Herb doesn't need a pass.
Yeah, if it's a route or drop pass in the passing game, no pass, because we've seen him struggle with that a lot. I haven't seen him struggle with fielding a kickoff. Punt returns, different. Kickoffs, he usually catches it nice and neat in the breadbasket and gets his return.
Yeah, he did that thing where that girl trying to catch the ball. But no, I will say this because we were talking in the second half, and Herb was like, he's going to get his carries in the second half. I was like, no, he won't. Because I didn't think at that point.
I agree.
I thought his day was done. And he got a ton of carries. So I'm glad that they chose that route because he needs all the reps he can get. So the one thing, last week we were critical of them on not giving certain guys enough reps. Well, today they gave Velus a ton of reps, quality reps, that he can learn the position. You're going to make mistakes at this point, but if you can get it cleaned up here in the next couple weeks, you might just find yourself a solid roster spot.
How shocked were y'all that he didn't play at all last week? I'm sure y'all probably gave y'all takes on it, but
beyond shocked.
Yeah, Carm wasn't a big fan. I just
didn't think he earned that. We don't need to see him.
I thought everybody should play a little bit.
I know you did, but I can understand. I can
play
understand Caleb. I can understand
week.
DJ. I can understand all your frontline guys.
Right.
I didn't think that Velus had earned. First
it.
of all, there are people like, I don't know if he's going to make the team. So if he's on any type of bubble, how does he get to sit out? That just surprised me last week in totality. I was like, okay, they know he's their kick returner, but I don't know. Like, you just sit him out. That was a little strange to me. So it was very nice to see him get some extended work today. If they're going to move his position, put him in the backfield, I think he has the ability to be a mismatch nightmare back there if he can figure some things out. There's a lot. Like we said earlier, he can't even figure out the path to receive the handoff yet. So he's got a long way to go. But if he gets that thing right, you're talking about him being one-on-one with linebackers because of the mismatch that you can create. You get Velus one-on-one with a linebacker on an arrow route. I like it.
Well, it's what I said in the middle of the week. Okay, you guys now want to try Velus at running back. This does feel like 100 days late and $15,000 short. Why? Great idea now. By the way, I think he still looked his best catch in the football this training camp. But great idea now. You just thought of this? You didn't think of it a week ago and wanted to play him at running back in the Hall of Fame game? Like, dude, how does that just is bizarre to me?
Well, and I like the pitch. I like the idea of getting on the outside. You saw that with Khalil Herbert as well early in the game.
You leading them out there.
Right. So that's the one thing that I'm excited to go back and watch because now we're 2 games in and they've scored 54 points.
Come on.
And so to me, just trying to get an idea, obviously Shane Waldron's not going to show his entire thing, but you can at least see a foundation of some of his principles.
Yeah.
So, you got to see a lot more from the run game here today. DeAndre Swift getting in on the action. Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson out with injury. So I thought Khalil Herbert, took advantage of the opportunity. So trying to get an idea of exactly how Shane Waldron wants to operate in these games is something I'm going to go back and really try to dial into here as we get back to training camp at Hallis Hall on Tuesday.
So as we get towards the end here, and I know that Steven's got some super chats that he can kick up in a second here, but this is the segment that everybody has been waiting for, including you, Gregory.
Let's go. Emmy Award winning.
It is now time for the always famous and never not entertaining car notes, which are in phone form today. I got to get my yellow pad back going. Don't worry. I will do that because I love throwing things at Greg and at the camera. But it starts out today as they took the field, and Herb Howard and Greg Braggs both yelling at the screen, Caleb's jersey's not tucked in. You guys didn't like the non-tuck situation there.
No, I said it. I was just joking, though.
But
I hate the fact that
you did not sound like you were joking at that time.
I was being facetious.
I like everybody to look good on the field, man. Yeah, I fully subscribe to the Deion Sanders philosophy of look good, feel good, play good, get paid good. Like I believe in that, and I don't really like his uniform right now. The untucked shirt didn't bother me so much. I don't like the flailing sleeves from any quarterback. Yeah, I like when the sleeves get tucked under the pads a little bit. It just looks cleaner, looks neater. That other way is like, the Cal Orton way where the sleeves just kind of flail out. I don't like that. Like, tuck your sleeves under your pads. It just looks cleaner, looks neater. But if you're going to ball out, I don't really care what you got on. Just, do your thing.
Yeah, and so we're working on your look for you, Caleb. Don't worry about it. You can get there. Next up, he does unbelievable work as the Bulls play-by-play guy. He does unbelievable work on Fox for the NFL period and with the Bears in the preseason. But Adam Amin, his telestrator work today was straight awful.
What was that? He tried to come out and illustrate what the new kickoff rules looks like, and it was just like it's my 4 or 5-year-old nephew just drawing on the screen like that. Like what is this right now? It's like, okay, sure, explain it to him, Adam. Shout out to Adam. He's super, super dope. But I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it was a straight scuffle, and it did. I could never color within the lines, and I've got I'm an elite athlete, one of the greatest hoopers back in the day that you could ever find. And my tennis game reigns supreme now, but I'm not.
There you go.
My small motor control, like threading a needle, that type of thing, never been my thing. And that drawing would have looked like what I would have done.
Yes.
So you don't want to be with. You're better than that.
Like you
Adam,
kick the thing here, you catch the thing here. These guys can start to move from here, and then they go over there. It's like, ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, Adam. I mean, we've seen them finger paintings you bring home, and they suck.
Yeah. I wrote down the second and one and the third and one and the disappointment of that. But after that, next thing on my notes, it was a run to Khalil, and we did not. We didn't get any love on this show right now, and he's getting it in Carm notes. Is Kari Blasingame being a lead blocker out there to just kicking ass, taking names like he always does. 35, you're a big Blasingame guy, Braggs. He was doing it, man.
Kari doesn't get enough love, man. Fullbacks don't get enough love in the league now as it is, but Kari is obviously super huge, but he's more athletic than people give him credit for. Him leading out on the edge on any type of, DB or outside backer. He led Velus around for the touchdown. He led him around on the other side. Kari is absolutely somebody that Coach Waldron should be looking to use in a myriad of ways.
Yeah. Next up in here is Greg Braggs yelling, "Kill!"
Yeah, I like to yell random things. So if there's a guy in pursuit or a sack, I yell "kill," like a caveman.
I like it.
It was mid-season form. I got Micah Baskerville getting love on here. Ian Wheeler touchdown.
Yeah.
Do we think 33 makes this team?
Shout out to Howard.
No,
I don't think he makes the team.
Think they practice squad him?
If they can, yeah. I mean, if he had a pretty good game today, we'll see what he does next week and the week thereafter. He may end up, pricing himself, if you will, out of their market, right? He may not be able to sneak onto the practice squad for teams that might need a running back or have some late injuries, but I think he should be able to get onto the practice squad. But I did like what I saw from him today. He ran hard.
Yeah. Also, shout out on the notes today. Greg Braggs during the game. I don't know. It's Hogue is on vacation today. And the level of detail that Braggs went to putting up things into our rundown was so unbelievably impressive, and it kept you quiet too at the same time. So I just wanted to tell you that you have been nominated by me to do that the rest of the season.
How you like that, Hogue?
It was Hoger. If you're watching, he did a great job.
The professionalism was definitely on display from Braggs. It was great to see. Usually I just come here and we just chop it up, or we talk some meatball stuff out at Hallis or whatever. But seeing you on the technical side doing all of the pregame stuff or pre-production stuff,
right?
It's great.
It's like when your parent is gone, and then like the oldest kid is put in charge. We can't trust Carm to like keep it going, so I had to make sure we were good because Carm would have let the house burn down.
Yes. He goes out of his way to compliment you, and that's what you do.
And then he just buries him.
Yeah, it's okay. Listen,
I also helped Steven too this morning. Look at me. Look at me.
MVP.
Well, it's
might
just
want
me
to apologize.
here.
On one leg.
Just doing whatever I can. Steven, Mark. Herb was good, though.
You can apologize to everybody who's watching live right now, the 2200, for the look at your legs right now, which is quite frankly.
What's wrong with my legs?
They're just very pale and kind of.
They're not pale.
Whatever. That's fine. I won't. I'll walk it back.
Thank you for the compliment. We don't need you, Hogue.
We'll keep
you
it.
Stay in Green Bay, you loser.
He drove through Green Bay on his way. He's not staying in Green Bay. My last one here on the notes, I just thought as we, kind of get to the end here on the show, it was adorable. It was
from Brazil.
It was heartwarming for me just seeing Caleb with that smile on the sidelines. Like he's been waiting for this forever. Sir. Pros and cons. I see a lot more pros to me playing. Didn't get a chance to do it last week. Matt Eberflus, I asked him the question, like, what'd you tell Caleb? I told him he's not playing. And so there was no conversation about it. Well, this week I was slightly worried with the offensive line issues that he wouldn't get out there. They did the right thing in playing him. I think everybody feels a whole lot better that he did play and how it looked. And then that smile was like, okay, this dude gets to, when his head hits the pillow tonight, it's going to be a nice feeling for 18.
Yeah, I think they had a good time in the locker room. It's going to be a nice flight back for them, and they should have a good night, enjoy the work they put in today. Seeing those frontline guys on the sideline just having a good time, DJ and Keenan out there with Caleb, just enjoying themselves, but also supporting their teammates and clapping and meeting guys on the field. That's what you want, man. Those are early signs of developing good chemistry, a strong locker room, and ultimately a winning team.
Which brings us to our final segment before we get to Super Chats. And I kind of set it up nicely there by not taking your compliment in stride, because last week, when I called myself an idiot on the show, I was humble brags. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, you get yourself. There's humble brags, looking classy. But today is not so humble brags, busting it out for you. Shout out to all of you who questioned my geniusness the other day at camp, where I told you that the offense was making strides, and everybody wanted to say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, Greg. You're a complete moron. You thought Chase Claypool was going to do something at camp last year. I don't listen to you. And I, to you, say, I told you so. The offense looked great today. Clean operation. Caleb Williams just dissecting the pocket, making plays, throws on the run, a beautiful dart, throwing it to Cole Kmet, DJ Moore on 3rd and 13. I wasn't worried one bit on Tuesday. Mark was worried. He's an idiot. I'm not an idiot today. I told you, next time, listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. Not so humble brags. Tried to warn you. Offense going to be just fine, ladies and gentlemen.
You tell them, Braggs.
Thank you.
You tell them. You. Stand on business.
Yeah, standing on it.
Nobody keeps receipts for the one person that says something negative to you like you do.
Yeah.
Do you think about all the
came over that day of practice?
Think about all the people that love you.
We're like, you think the offense looks good? I was like, yeah, I do. Caleb did well climbing the pocket today. You're like, you're an idiot, Greg.
I didn't say
that. Whatever you said, it made me feel like an idiot, and so I was like, oh, this mother effer. I'll tell you what.
Everybody's going to love you, but there's a lot more love than hate. So I tend to ignore the hate, but I've been hanging out a little bit in some of Braggs' spaces lately.
Don't do that.
It's a place. It's a place. And they just rag on each other, and everybody talks about each other and their moms. And I'm like, y'all must really like each other or know each other or something. Because I just, they ask me something, I'll unmute and say something. Otherwise, I just kind of fade in the back like that Homer Simpson thing. Like, y'all are.
Into the bushes.
Y'all are
Adam Rain came into one of the spaces. I was like, enter at your own risk, Adam, because.
You're entering a space that nobody graduated high school, and it's just not, it's not recommended. I don't, but you keep doing those shows.
You're right, Elric. That was the gospel, according to Meatball.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Super chats on the way out here, Steven. I know we lost some, so what do we got that we can give some love to? Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, here we go.
My bad. I was getting my mic ready. Flavio B says bear down with a flexing emoji.
Thank you, Flavio.
It's a $5 super chat. Noah D, who sent his first super chat. I've seen him in the chat for quite a while. $5. First super chat. Haven't missed a show since 2022.
Nope.
Love you guys. Can't get enough of your content.
Thanks,
We
Noah.
appreciate you, Noah, and I see you every day in the chat. We love you for it.
Great
We got
comments.
a big one here from Kerry Huss. Signed Caleb Helmet came yesterday. This is a $50 super chat. He looked so good. Let's go. A great first appearance. Great content, fellas. Bear down.
Thank you, Huss.
Appreciate you, Kerry.
I was out at a bar last weekend, Huss, and they were playing Huss. Thought I heard you calling my name, and I thought of you. So know that. Even when I'm not on the show,
thinking about you.
I got you, Kerry.
Yes, sir.
That's one of my strongest pool performances
ISO
in a while.
Noah, $4.99. Caleb looks good, but what about the pass rush opposite Montez and also the running backs? We hit on a lot of that today, man. I thought they looked pretty good in terms of the potential rushers opposite Montez, especially considering that he was not out there today. The Bears tallied up 8 sacks. I know some of them came later against lesser competition, but I thought that a lot of those guys were consistent with their pressure today, and we went through the running backs pretty good in terms of what that may look like. We talked about DeAndre Swift heavily, hit on Khalil Herbert a little bit, talked a lot about Velus, and Roschon's obviously out, and we discussed
on that first run, because I did have some notes in here. The first run of the game to DeAndre Swift, I thought the right side opened up a nice hole. They only got like 3 or 4 yards out of it, according to the telecast. But you saw a nice hole by Darnell Wright, and Pryor there playing right guard for the day. So, and then the other thing that I noticed on that first drive, Tevin Jenkins gave number 98 a ride for like 10 yards.
Let's go.
So you see that, like, I think their bread and butter for the offensive line is always going to be run blocking first, and then like just hope they get better with time, with continuity pass blocking.
And one leads to the other, right? So you keep hitting even though that first run only went for 3 or 4 yards, because they create that crease, you keep hitting it. Soon that 3 or 4 breaks for 8, 9, 12, 15, but it also sets up the play action. We've talked about how much Caleb likes to get out on the edge and throw the ball there. So all that's going to kind of, one hand wash the other. So just keep hitting it up in there. It may be 3-4, 3-4, 3-4, but then they start to break for bigger runs and also creates opportunities in the passing game.
Yes, sir.
Steven, any chats, super chats from the first one? I know there was a $50 one from Krista who was super excited.
Yeah, I have those, but before I do that, I'm going to implore everyone to hit the subscribe button. We have the live counter right here. I think we could get to 58,700 before the show ends.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Get to it.
Why not? There's like over 2,000 people still watching. There's so many new names in the chat. I don't see any reason you can't hit the subscribe button.
We're talking about 33 more. If you have not subscribed already to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. That helps out immensely as well. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button.
You haven't hit the like button
go
yet.
up right now.
Watching this show, if you haven't hit the like button yet, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Do it for somebody in your life that you liked, and you can, if it's not for us, but I know that, or if it just can be, right here, because you've enjoyed the program today. Thank you so much. It just helps us grow. We're trying to make our way in this unbelievably competitive media landscape. So thank you so much for everybody who supported us over time. All right.
All right, I'll give you some super chats
Yeah,
now.
please.
$20 from Craig Leach. Sorry, I can't get these on screen. They're no longer in here, but he says, woohoo. That's it.
Woohoo.
We'll
That's
take it.
Join the win.
You gotta do the Homer woohoo. Can you do it?
Can you do it again?
I'm just going to let you do it. There you go. That was terrible. Michael Renew, $5. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? A perfect QB. His structural perfection is his hostility to the Packers.
Structural perfection.
Wow.
I like that.
Hey, I liked what he said that Nick talked about. Is the confidence a natural thing for you? No, it's not. I work at this every single day. That's how I get confident. You talk to some of the most elite athletes to do their sport, and they will tell you the same thing. I love bringing in hoopers, and I'll bring in Ray Allen right now. That's one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time.
Yeah.
He would say that every single day that he got up, he felt like he couldn't shoot at all, that he had to walk in the gym and do it for 2 hours beforehand before he could step on the court and be ready to do it. That's where it comes from. And Caleb is a freaking worker, man, which is one of the reasons why you can feel pretty safe in betting on him, because he's got the talent and he's got the work ethic, which is what it takes to be one of the greats.
Yeah, that's what real confidence is. It comes from preparation, from knowing that you put the work in. You know you study for the test. I'm not really afraid of it. I'm confident going into it. Speaking of confidence from great athletes who had the ability but also put the work in, did I tell you that I hung out with Michael Jordan last weekend? Okay, cool.
That's a pretty good flex. Greg Rosenthal put on Twitter on the highlight throw to Cole Kmet. It's got to be weird for Packers fans to admit, damn, they finally got one. And
that's awesome.
Literally started crying as I read that.
They're not quite ready to say it, but we'll see what they're saying after week 10, week 11, whatever it is. I literally half cried having that Herb got to hang out with Mike last week.
I just had to mess with you one more time about that.
Yeah, congratulations. What else we got?
We got a $20 super chat here from Larry Strickland. Caleb, greatest Bears QB. Wheeler's second greatest Bears running back. Booker, greatest Bears defensive end.
No doubt.
I will now get off Meatball Island. Bear down.
No, stay there.
You can stay on it.
Stay there. Take a permanent residency there.
Stay on it till Victory Monday. Go to work. Talk as much shit as you possibly can, and then Tuesday we get back to focusing eyes on the Bengals.
Or on the Cincinnati.
That's good being in the moment. You live your life, Larry. Next.
Here's the $50 super chat from Crystal. Let's effing go. I have to go back and watch because of the sketchy service, but I loved what I saw. I'm excited. Bear the F down. Love you guys. Also, hit the like button.
Damn right,
Love
Crystal.
you too, Crystal. Stop hiding from me.
Kevin Fishbane, fun fact. The last time the Bears won a preseason game by 20-plus points was in 2006, a 24-3 win over the Chargers. The 2006 Bears won the NFC.
There it is.
I love his fun facts from Kevin Fishbane. I really hate that he will not take my advice and switch them from fun facts to fish facts. It's right there for you. You're not taking the layup. I don't like it. You're going all Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl.
Not very
just
smart
handed to
for a guy that graduated from Northwestern.
Yeah, come on. What they teach you at Medill? Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Fish facts.
I'm seeing in the chat here from Pipeline J, is the Duke Crystal. You know, it is unfortunate that the Duke did not make an appearance on today's show. I was expecting him.
I know, I love the Duke.
We got the Duchess.
But
we don't need the Duke.
We got the Duchess. That's what she is.
Screw you, Duke.
The chat, you guys were freaking awesome today. Thank you for all the support. Thank you, Drew Moses, on the great show, guys. Bears on top, Bear down. Herb, always good seeing you on the show. That is the truth. Herb coming in on a Saturday.
Let's do it, man.
Pre-game, post-game, hanging out.
Always fun to hang out with y'all like my cousins. You know what I mean? Like, I got my brothers at the bigs, and y'all are brothers here. But I'm like a cousin. I get to come and hang out with my cousins sometimes.
We every time you come, it shows better, and we appreciate it. So it was awesome again today.
It was fun watching the game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're rapping, but we do have a few more super chats.
And one just came in a minute ago. I saw that too.
Yeah, we got a handful.
We got a few more.
Give me what we got left.
Craig Leach, $20. Meatball Unite.
Thanks,
Bryce,
Craig.
$5. Bear down.
Thanks, Bryce.
Javen Terry, a $20 super chat. This is why I wasn't crying about our offense during camp. He's playing a great defense every day, was able to move the ball up and down the field twice, and our defense shut them down all game. Our offense is fine.
Yeah, and like I said, through all the positives that we really, highlighted today, there are teachable moments in there. There's, you get out of the pocket, you draw a hold on Darnell Wright. You almost throw an interception. At one point, there was almost a delay of game. They barely got the snap off. So when he was trying to get the play call out last second. So there are little things that they can get better from, but you still had a lot of positives to take from it as well.
He's not going to be perfect. He's going to be up and down. Let's embrace it. And today was a big time up, and maybe there'll be a whole lot more ups than any downs. Who knows? But I'm bracing myself for
Set
both
the
sides.
bar pretty high today. Good job, kid.
He sure did. What else, Steven?
Professor X, $10 super chat. Greatest trade of all time. Polls for president. Bear down. We got another $2 super chat here from Javen Terry. Also, Velus out, Wheeler in.
There's too many people in the chat today that want to cut Velus. Just chill out.
It's a popular thing, and I don't really know that's really how it's going to go.
Real quick, let me ask you guys: if he wasn't a 3rd-round pick, and let's say he was a 5th-round pick, would it have happened already?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. GMs are a little slow to get rid of their top 3 picks, whatever. But
we might have just jumped the probably too fast. He is one of the better kick returners in the game. The kick return is so. I think he's
Velus Jones is like Mark Carman. You want to get rid of him, but he brings something to the table.
That was the most backhanded compliment.
But he also might suck.
That's the best they can do to each other. Sadiq, what I see you in the chat? I'll see you at my radio show in about 50 minutes.
I'm sorry, Mark. I love you.
They can't help themselves.
It's okay, Ian Wheeler.
Don't
worry about Ian Wheeler.
Don't worry about Ian
Wheeler. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, Eric, $10. Should have been 6 for 7. He hit Komet and Moore in the hands. They just couldn't haul it in.
Yes.
Bear down. CHGO, let's up and go. We found our QB. $5 from Kiss My Butt Kiss. Shout out to Poles for building a deep roster. I want to keep Wheeler, Reed, Colin Johnson, Hardy, Baskerville, Stewart. Lots of tough decisions to make.
Can I keep 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I don't think Reed's making this team, but hey, hopefully you make some team, some practice squad somewhere. It seems like a good dude.
Just a couple more that were held over here from the first portion of the show before the freeze. Matt Harris, $10. Excited about Booker and the fact that Herb is on. Good show.
Appreciate you. Always fun.
Edward First, $20 super chat. I know it's just the first preseason game, trying to not overreact, but for me, it's clear we have a good roster. Maybe not top 10, but Ryan Poles did a great job in a short amount of time.
Sweet. Did you catch the one that came in like a few minutes ago?
Yeah, that one's over here.
Okay.
Well,
that's the last one, too.
Think tank.
Remember when Mitch Trubisky, shout out to Mitch playing today.
How bizarre was that? Like, yeah, Mitch comes out, you're like, oh, yeah, he's on the Bills.
Well, I just said, remember when he threw 6 touchdown passes against Tampa Bay? And
I was there. It was like the Messiah had come to Chicago.
Right, and at the time, I'm sitting there like
6 touchdowns ever, like a shovel pass and then like a 1-yard demo. But sure, go ahead.
Right. That's my point. It was they were all wide open, and it was a
We're
bunch
not
of
picky in Chicago.
No,
give us 6.
This is a false prophet.
Yeah, but they were all wide open. It was a bunch of nothing, and then people went nuts. The thing about Caleb today is like you saw some like elite stuff. So that's why I think, everyone is reacting the way they're reacting, even though it is just the first preseason game. I just saw in the chat that J.J. McCarthy's tearing it up for the Vikings, so I'm looking it up, and indeed he is. I'm not watching. I don't know what the Raiders are doing. He's 11 for 17. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes, 188 yards. He does have 1 interception.
I heard Sam Darnold was doing his thing earlier.
He had a pick earlier. Yeah, Jordan Love had a deep ball touchdown. It's not an easy division here. J.J. McCarthy, is a good prospect for them. I don't know if he's going to start right out the gate, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be very long before he does.
17 pass attempts in his first preseason game. That's
he's their backup.
Well, I think he's listed as their 3rd stringer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he got bumped up since then, but yeah.
He might have played 2 quarters or something.
Right.
Jordan Love in the Packers, they're leading the Browns 20-3 in the 3rd quarter. Jordan Love threw 2 passes, completed them both for 63 yards.
He threw a bomb for a touchdown.
Right.
He got it all on one throw.
Best division in football, yes or no?
Of course.
I think it is. Of
course, because the Bears are the division champs, and then you got the Lions, and then the Packers, who are both very good. And
Minnesota's got a lot of good players, too. So.
Stevens' guy, J.J. McCarthy.
Anything else? Think Tank 1399, my guy. Love you, Think Tank. Appreciate you and all the Twitter DMs. How did D-Rob look? You look good, man.
Yeah.
He did.
We talked about the big play he made on that first defensive drive.
And he's made a few at camp, too.
Yeah.
So it's not like this came out of nowhere today. There's been a couple times in the last week that I've seen him make a play.
Yeah, started out a little sketchy, but he's been flashing.
And we're almost to 58, 17 more. Come on.
Hit that like button on the way out.
Subscribing is a great choice. It doesn't cost you any money. Don't worry about that. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You get the notification when the show's going on. You can watch the show that day or not watch the show that day. It's a real low-level commitment. We're not even asking you to become
live after every game, pre and post. We go live every day at noon, typically when we're not in training camp month. But with training camp, you got to stay tuned for updates day to day because we always do post-practice shows immediately following every practice, and we will continue to do that this week. Tuesday, first practice back at Hallis Hall, so we'll be live around 2 p.m. Central, and then we also are going to be live Tuesday night for, Hard Knocks After Dark. Last week it was a lot of fun kind of doing our post-game show wrap-up of episode 1. So I'm excited for the next episode of Hard Knocks and see how much they feature of footage in this game and hear some of the mic'd up player reactions to Caleb Williams putting on a show.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. A ton of people watched that show the other night. Enjoy it this week. I'm actually off this week, so I'll be missing everybody, but I'll be back after that, getting ready for the Chiefs game. And then, of course, I'm going to the U.S. Open to be a ball boy. I'm gonna
Ball man.
Any other super chats?
No, that's all of them.
We've done it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Edward with the 6 p.m. Cubs Sox reminder. That was a phenomenal baseball game last night.
With the Cubs guys for post-game show here later tonight.
That's a big day for Gregory.
A lot of talking.
That's the way he's supporting us here.
I'll be producing, but I might pop in with some thoughts.
You won't be able to sit there the whole time producing. You'll talk. Thanks to Herb Howard, who I think pulled a Carman, had to go to the bathroom. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm surprised you're not also peeing. I could just finish the show by myself while you both,
You should walk off right now and just tip your cap to all the.
I'll walk off then.
There you go. There he goes. Tip your cap. Phenomenal performance by Gregory. We will see you on Monday. Have a great rest of your weekend.
We all silly like the mayor.